This is the future. Evolution. This is the future. Evolution. This is the future.
Hey guys, how's it going? Matt from Foulball Productions here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you're doing well, because I'm doing phenomenally. Thank you so very much. It's MFer Podcast, episode 42. 4, and then that's 4 goes first. How's it going, y'all? Thanks for being here. I'm an idiot. I'm kind of dumb. So I saw that this, I was planning on streaming tonight, and then I saw that this Elon Trump thing was happening. And I was like, oh, 8 o'clock. Perfect. I'll stream for an hour, and then we'll go right into it, and I'll live stream that. Not realizing that was 8 o'clock Eastern, and it's starting now, apparently. So maybe just ditch the show and do a whole live stream of this thing. Although, you know what? I'm on Tweety right now. It does not appear to be working. I am not able to access it. Does not seem to be able to. There we go. Nope, that's a live stream. That's not it. I think it's down. Like, I don't think it's up. Like, Elon's whole big old deal, and everyone's live streaming it. Everyone's copying me. What a bunch of hacks, dude. But I can't seem to access it. It doesn't really seem to be available, which is not a great look. I mean, Donnie T comes back to Twitter, which is hilarious. Comes out with a banger, too. And then he's got this big. This is Roxy. She's going crazy. He's got this big conversation planned with Trump and Elon, titans of the political sphere, the conversation network, and it's not working. That's a little embarrassing. Pretty sure the mainstream media is going to run with it tomorrow. Going to run with that story if this doesn't get up in the next few minutes. I can't seem to. Okay, Donald Trump Jr. space. I can't get it to load. I'm trying. Every time I click on it, it just stops. Nothing comes up. Can anyone else get it to load? Is it just me? Am I the clueless YouTube host who is selfishly stealing this moment for himself? I don't know. I honestly, every time I click on it, like literally nothing happens. Let's see if I can do it on my phone. Let me see if it's just the YouTube interface or if it's the phone. Let's see. I'm curious. I hope that this is really cool, but I hope it doesn't just like totally crash and like what a mess. It says he's in a space. Join space. Welcome to Spaces. Got it. Wait, are they? Join. I don't see it. I don't hear it. I don't think it's working. There's a lot of people in it. This space is not available. Bro, it's just not working. I think Trump and Elon broke their own platform, or Elon's platform. I don't know. I was happy to live stream it, obviously, albeit I thought it was going to be in an hour, not right now. Oops, very dumb of me. But I thought it'd be funny. I could throw in some witty banter or some like, oh, shit, yeah! Some excited, like, boom, drop the hammers, or hopefully not as much cringing. No cringing, hopefully. But I don't know. We'll keep an eye on it. We will monitor the situation. In the situation room, we will keep you updated on what's going on. Foulball Productions, your place for breaking news. Oh, yeah. Libs of TikTok is having a meltdown over the fact that this isn't working. She's like, why? Why? My sweet prince. Somebody tell me 15 times it's not working. She's a little wacky, huh? I think she did Trigonometry, that show with those two British comedians. But she seems a little nuts. She started doxing people who were like, yeah, I was happy he got shot. Wish they got him. And she seems a little wacky-doo, but her account is funny. Papa Cotton, hello, sir. Yeah, I guess, I don't know. I guess we'll monitor the situation and see what develops. And I guess my show prep was not in vain. Not in vain. Well, anyway, well, if once it goes up, let me know in the chat, or I'll just pop in and hope it's working. This is not a great look, though. Anyway, I've been fine. I've been very well. Everything's okay. I'm not upset about my breakup. I'm over it. No, breakups do suck. And I've been in just like a hard to, like, get back on the horse, and really feel myself, get that swag back, son. It does feel a little off. It feels a little off recently. I've been a bit, like, depressed and just sort of like, I don't want to do anything. I'm going to play Baldur's Gate. Man. Cats are, make me feel good, though. They make me happy. I got the Little Rocks back there, Luke, obviously, and my buddy, Michael, whom you've all met and loved. Obviously, huge hit. Michael moved in. And now we have 3 cats. Just a couple of dudes with their 3 cats. Totally straight. That's what we are. Just a couple of guys in Austin, Texas, with 3 cats. Nothing to read into, okay? Despite how it looks, we are straight as hell, bro. Straight as hell. I tell ya. The women we bring home, though, better be cool. With a couple of dudes and 3 cats, because that's a tough look. Gotta be honest. But I like it. I love it. I like the cats running around playing with each other. I think it's awesome. It brings me so much joy. I think it's really fun and funny. Lukey's got 2 new friends. He's been an only child most of his life. And now he's got, little pals to pal around with. I think it's terrific. Other than that, not much going on with me. There was something going on with me online with this fucking guy. So there's this comedian, Stavi baby. You might know him, Papa Cotton. I know you're a big comedy fan. And he put up a clip the other day. And look, I think Stavi's funny, but I think his politics and his point of view is stupid. And he put up a comment. He put up a video, and I commented on it. And that comment has been kind of like what's been going on with me for the past, 3 days. Because every time I just, my phone, I'm like, 3 new notifications of people on Instagram being like, dude, it's a joke. He's a comedian. Bro, what about your, whatever. They're just going, on all types of things about me. And I don't know. I wanted to play it for y'all and tell me what you guys think about his joke. Because I thought it was stupid, really dumb, and also wildly hypocritical. So let me show you. Okay. Pay no attention. Do not get distracted by Tom Brady's homosexual energy. Okay? Don't. Stay focused. I need your focus. I need you to pay attention to help me, to defend me. All right, check it out.
Never helped us one time. They haven't improved our lives. They haven't invented shit. Here's how every tech company gets successful now. Here's the secret. They're like, hey, you know that thing that already exists? What if we don't pay people to do it? What if we just... You know how taxi drivers can afford to feed their families? What if they couldn't? And that was the pitch for Uber. Basically, that was it.
No, it wasn't.
Some
So
VC
dumb.
guy was like, "Holy shit, that's awesome." Some decrepit billionaire hanging upside down, getting a Puerto Rican teenager's blood pumped into his heart directly. So yeah, man, that's all. Give that guy $1 trillion for that idea. But they have, every time they advertise a new app, it's always so positive and bubbly, even though the thing is very sinister if you think about it. It's always like, we know times are tough here in America. That's why we created Harvest. Did you know you have 2 kidneys?
Okay, I mean, I'm just so over that. I've seen it so many times now. But okay, I don't think that's all that funny. Like, I just don't like just the whole the joke doesn't work for me. But this is Stavros. Stavros was on a show called Come Town. Come Town for a very long time was the biggest Patreon account, or one of. I'm pretty sure they were the biggest for a time being. Patreon is a tech company. He literally has a career. Why I even know who this guy is because of Patreon, a tech company. I am now a defender of big tech, but it doesn't improve our lives. They don't do anything for us. It's like they gave you a fucking career. You're a millionaire because of this. You are incredibly wealthy and successful because of big tech. You are saying these jokes on Netflix. I am seeing these jokes on Instagram. The only reason I can even interact with you at all is big tech. And your whole premise is big tech does nothing for us. Let me ask you guys something. Before Uber came around, before Uber showed up, did you take a lot of taxis? Did you call up your local cab company and spend $60 to get driven 2 miles? I know I fucking didn't. But I'll tell you what, I take like 3 Ubers a week. It's the dumbest fucking premise I've ever heard in my entire fucking life. I can't believe it. And so I think I just said something like, dude has a Patreon and literally saying jokes on Netflix. What do you think those companies are? 155 likes. Not bragging, just saying. I'm just recording the facts here. But 36 of those replies, none of them are in support of me. Every single person is arguing with me. Dude, it's a joke. He said, oh, big tech. Uber people don't like Uber either. Blah, 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 blah. I just was astounded by the hypocrisy of the joke itself, which is I don't know what the fuck you think Netflix is, bud. But they are a streaming platform and that host online content. That's a tech company, man. It seemed to help you. Seemed like things are going okay. So, I don't know. I don't know what you guys think. But I mean, I was like, that is the dumbest fucking take I've ever heard. I was astounded at how asinine and hypocritical and backwards that was. And the fact that everyone in the all my comments arguing with me, I'm like, that's a salient point. They're like, you don't even know how to make an argument. It's like, yes, I do. So I just wanted to see if I was crazy or if you guys thought the same thing, because I was like, that made zero sense to me. Just the premise alone. And that's the clip they chose to share. Netflix put it on Instagram. No one sees the irony here. No one is aware of the irony that this guy's shitting on tech, saying it doesn't help anybody. We're only able to see it because of tech. Is anyone else Stavi, before this, you'd have to get a special on HBO or a special on Comedy Central and pray to God you were one of the chosen ones. Now it's wide open for comedians. There wasn't room for the hundreds of famous comedians there are now. I just, someone make sense of that for me. I that's a level of lack of awareness and gratitude that I'm struggling to understand. And it's I don't like big tech. I don't like censorship. You know what I mean? I don't like all this stuff. It's annoying. I don't like that they influence elections and have all this say in the morality, the morality of the planet. No, I don't like that either. But to say it has not improved our lives, no tech companies improved our lives at all, fucking bonkers. Bonkers. I still don't think that is up. I'm looking at X. Still nothing. Jake D, what's up, baby? Uber did more to end drunk driving than anything in the history of the U.S. Yes! 100%. It is 100% the most convenient, easy way to, like, it's like that was not a thing. You didn't call cabs. You're like, hey, yeah, would you, you want to spend $60 getting home or risk it? Most people in a drunken state are like, risk it. Now Uber is just like, I Uber to the bar. Like, I know I'm going to get drunk. I'll just Uber there. It's $11. Might be $20 when I leave, but so what? $30, half the price of what it would have cost for a cab both ways. Insane. Yeah, big tech. You know what Uber does? We're not paying people. It's like, how the fuck are they worth billions, man? Explain that to me. What are they doing? So dumb. Papa Cotton. I don't care. I've heard Stavi say a bunch of stupid shit. Ever hear his take on Forrest Gump? No. Most of Stavi's takes annoy the hell out of me. He is funny at times. He's funny just hanging, just as a dude. But every time I see like a constructed take from him, I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. He's like a funny like Hassan. He's like a funny that's what's that streamer, that socialist streamer? He's like a funny version of him. It's like it's always kind of got a political bent that's dumb and illogical. It's no surprise his fans were like, it's a joke. I'm like, I know it's a fucking joke, dude. Okay, but like the premise is broken. They've never done anything for us. Okay, well they've clearly done a lot for you. So you're either ungrateful or a liar. Either one. Is it still not up? This is insane. Yeah, no, like everyone who was going to cover it is just covering Twitter. That's kind of funny. That's a little funny too. Like everyone, like all the grifters. Just kidding. But all the like YouTubers and streamers and stuff who were just like about to fill my pockets tonight, and then nothing. And granted, I'm one of them, but I wasn't planning on filling my pockets. Sentient Dildido. What's up, baby? How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thumb drive saved more trees than Greenpeace ever has. Jake, thank you, man. It's like, if it's done nothing for us, like, why has everyone always got their phone? Like Uber Eats and all these things. I mean, like, granted, there's downsides to all this, but did nothing for us? Like, bananas take. It was like, they're going to harvest your organs. It's like, okay, cool, bro. Cool take. While you fucking, take in a fucking $300,000 a month Patreon check. Yeah, did nothing. Nah. Fucking what a terrible company. Anyway, Sentient Diddle, y'all talking about Rogan's masterpiece of a special? We didn't get there yet. We were talking about Stavros, Stavi baby. Did not get into Rogan's special. I started it, I put it on for a moment. And then I just got distracted, Something came up. It was probably one of the cats, got into the trash or something. Can't comment. Look, here's the thing. I think Rogan has done so much for the world. Truly. At least America. No, probably the world. Has launched careers of a lot of great comedians. How's my gain? Do I sound low? Do I sound quiet? Does it sound good? Good? Down? Up? Down? What do you guys think? Let me know, because I'm not sure. Anyway, done so much for comedy, like given such a platform to so many people. The new Johnny Carson, as he was dubbed. Jordan Peterson, James Lindsay, Brett Weinstein. Lots of great names, lots of people who've contributed a lot. Gives platforms to all types of people. Millions of views every episode. I can't really listen anymore. I try. I really try, What was he had that guy, that new Kill Tony star from Estonia. Ari Matthias or something. That guy. Funny. That guy's funny. But man, just Rogan, it's like he's like a teacher now. Like I was thinking about that. I feel like Rogan's now like an educator. He wants to share all the crazy facts that he has. Now, he's always kind of been like that. But now it seems to be the dominant characteristic he has. And it gets really boring. I mean, if it's a comedy podcast, and the comedian is trying to make jokes, play with the joke. Don't just take a 7-minute aside for like emotionally aggressive stoner talk. It is boring. You know, it's fine once in a while. You know, he's got interesting ideas. He's improved my life. I cold plunge and shit, you know, makes me a happier person easily. You know, I even did a kettlebell workout yesterday, probably because Rogan's in my head some way. Whew, but as an entertainer recently, man, it has been rough. Even Protect Our Parks. You got Mark Norman, Ari Shaffir, and Shane Gillis in a room with Rogan, and Rogan still somehow manages to stop the fun. I don't get it. Maybe he's just too atop his tree, you know? And there's just, in the comedy world, he doesn't really have any kind of rivals or like any sort of feeling of like inferiority or trying to, I don't know. You know, I think the Comedy Mothership is an amazing venue. I've been there 4 or 5 times myself. I had a great time. It was terrific. Staff was great. Comics were great. You know, it's the hottest club in the country. It's very cool. And I think his contributions, like I said, to comedy and society, second to none. Second to none. But man, it gets harder to defend him. You know what I mean? Like, not as a guy, not like he's a bad guy, just from a level of being entertaining. And I it pains me to say that, but I just feel, I'm like, Joe, man, like, could you let the riff go for a little while? You let the back and forth go before you start telling them about some animal they dug out of the ice and what does that mean? You know, it's like, all right, okay, man. Like, come on, can we just make some fucking jokes for a while, please? That's why we're here. That's why we know you. I don't know. I still love him. He'll always hold a place in my heart, but I got to be honest, I don't really participate in the content much anymore. And that sucks because I used to watch Rogan all the time. And I think, you know, he gets a lot of hate for not being funny and then drops that special. And I was like, oh no, it's just more of the same. Oh, fuck. I couldn't watch it. I tried. Bro managed to out Gringo Poppy Shop. Bro, please don't tell me that's true. Did you watch the whole thing? Did you watch the whole special and that's your review? Brutal. It was rough. I was watching it with my friend, Michael, my roommate, Michael. And, yeah, it's painful. It's just more of him. It was more of him, like, you know, and explaining things, like, aggressively with those wide eyes, man. And it's just like, oh, God. Here. I did see another Brendan, not Brendan Schaub, but Brendan Sagalow has a new special on Netflix, on YouTube, and I recommend it. I was there during the premiere when I was in the chat making witty comments, little witticisms. You can go back and watch that chat replay and see how hilarious I was. But no, it was a really good special. Clean, short, funny, you know, nothing annoying. Some really good jokes. I laughed out loud several times during it. It was really fun. I recommend that. Not to say I don't recommend Rogan, because I do live in Austin, and I don't want to get that leg kick. It looks really, really powerful. Papa Cotton disagrees. Nowhere near as cringe as Gringo Poppy. Okay. All right. So there's a back and forth here. There's different points of view. Don't take it from me. What's he teaching? Brain damage? No, I mean, he's always just dropping facts. He's always dropping, like, new insight. What do you think about this? Like, it's just, you know, stoner talk all the time. I'm like, okay, man, maybe take a week off. Maybe take a year off. You know? Just chill. I mean, the man doesn't stop. He does comedy, podcasts, UFC. Look, that alone is impressive. I don't care if he does them all but bad. That's amazing that he does all that. But, you know, maybe take some time off. Take a little breather, you know? Go up and elk hunt for a month. Just chill, man. Maybe your brain just needs to settle. Maybe you've just been going this hard for this long and as fucking alpha as you are. Maybe you just need a break. That's not crazy. That's not a crazy take at all. You know? But I think kind of numbers might be good. But I don't think everyone's into it the way they used to be. I know I'm not. And every time I talk about them, everyone's just like, oof. It's kind of like a meme now. I don't know. Maybe it's just overexposure. You know, sometimes when you You know, familiarity breeds contempt. Could be that. But I try to even be open-minded. Like I said, I was listening to that guy from Estonia, and I wanted to hear more. And I'm like, Rogan, can you just stop with your fucking fun facts and your little stoner talk and just kind of, can we get to know this guy? Can we, like, find out, like, where he was from? He used to be an MMA fighter. Can we get into that? But, and maybe they did, but I stopped listening, you know, after, like, 15, 20 minutes because I was just like, it's just more of the same shit. It's like, no matter who's there, Rogan's just doing Rogan. It's like, man, interview the guy. I want to learn about him. I'm curious. Funniest part is all comedians glazing him over the special. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen people talking shit about it. That's interesting. I'd love to see that. I don't know who. I'm curious. I'd like to see. I don't know. Whitney Cummings, though. Yeah. I've never been a Whitney Cummings fan. She always seemed very Hollywood, very way too inside and suspicious. She is funny, but she also seems like kind of like a, I don't know, like one of those just LA women. Sort of just too alpha. She is funny. It makes me laugh, but I'm not a fan. Hey, Listless. I thought that you would appreciate this. You're right. That is not Luke. Very astute observation. That is Roxy. R.I.P. Luke. No, I'm just kidding. Luke's fine. Luke's fine. That's his little sister, Roxy. So I picked up a new kitten. You weren't here the last time I did this a few weeks ago. This is little Roxy Butt. She's a little sweetie pie. She's actually a little hellion, but she's friends now. Lukey and her are friends. They're palsy wowsies. So yeah, that's the new addition, new part of the family. You know, I think I might be the target of JD Vance's insult. I think I'm the 40-year-old cat women. I think that's me. I think I'm that. I'm like, I'm still going to vote for you, but no reason to be mean. Oh, fuck. He should focus on elk hunting and enjoy his money. Yeah, at least for a little while. I really just think for a little while, you know? Maybe he's just not hungry anymore. Maybe he just gets tired. I don't know. I'm not sure. But he feel like he's changed a lot, and it's just gotten a little dull. A little dull. Nothing cool as a 6-year-old doing weed jokes. I don't care about that. I just think it's like, I don't know. If it's jokes, fine. Okay. At least it's comedy. At least we're taking stabs at jokes, you know? I don't know. I'm wishing him good fortune. I just won't be watching. That's how I feel about it, honestly. That's exactly how I feel about it. I have nothing against the guy. You know? If Rogan wanted me on, I would do it in a heartbeat, okay? But I'm not really watching as much. I dare you to sit through her special jokes. Oh, ooh, Whitney? Okay, wait. How's the thing going? Has the Spaces launched yet? Did he figure it out? Is this, like, up yet? Can we watch this goddamn thing? I still don't think it's up. That's fucking nuts. Oh, they are gonna roast him for that. They are. Nerdrotic posted, if Elon Musk needs my help setting up a stream, I'm here. That's pretty funny. Oh, Gary. The family is growing. Yes, indeed. And there's actually a third cat here. My friend Michael moved in, and he has a cat named Lula. So I live with 3 cats. There's nothing gay about it, okay? I don't want to hear any gay jokes from you guys. It's just a couple of single dudes with their cats. We're not gay, okay? Very straight, very alpha. Very alpha. Hello, small time republic. Rogan can be a bit much some. Try that again. Rogan can be a bit much when he tells people they should cryo freeze and sauna. Oh, look, that is where we part ways, sir. I do that shit, and I highly recommend it. It is the greatest thing ever. I recently broke up with my girlfriend. Sad face. Not that recent. 6 weeks ago, something like that. Not that I'm counting. But I last week I was in a terrible funk. And I had missed the gym. I went on a bender with Mike. It was bad. But I was in a slump for a little while, went to the gym, hit the sauna, and then the cold plunge, and man, snapped me out of it. Felt like $1 million. It is the greatest thing I do. I've looked into getting one for the house. Pretty expensive. Plus, I feel like my energy bills are going to soar. But it is the greatest, man. God, you get out of that thing and you just walk through a wall. You feel like invincible. It is the best feeling. It is the best feeling. And you carry that through the day, you know, just get shit done. It rules. Oh, I am such a sauna cold plunge fanatic. I've been doing it for like a year. Oh, I'm all about it, man. All about it. I hate when I miss it. I hate when I don't do it. It is the best thing. I love it, dude. You should try it. Well, it's not worrying. There's nothing weird about it, dude. 2 is the limit for cats. After that, it gets weird. I agree. I mean, like, I didn't choose that. I got Roxy before Michael moved in. It worked out that way. I had a room open. His housing situation fell through. It just sort of went that way. So, yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't have got Roxy if I knew that was going to happen, but oh, well, c'est la vie. Now I've got 3 cats. I guess I kind of like it. I sort of do. I think I am a crazy cat lady because I love when they're all like running around playing with each other. I think it's fun. I think it's great. They don't bother me. A lot of cat hair. A lot of cat shit. But, you know, is what it is. Is what it is. Alrighty. Wallet feeling heavier yet for the cats? Yeah, I mean, it's more expensive, certainly. I mean, it's definitely more pricey, for sure. I mean, I have to do twice as much food, twice as much litter, but I don't know. Look, I like Roxy. She's great. And, like, Luke, like, it was really bumming me out to see him, like, all alone and just sort of, like, every time I'd come home, you know, he'd come to me and then immediately want to go outside just to get some activity in his brain. And I'm like, this sucks, man. I feel terrible treating him like a fucking houseplant. You know, that's not right. He needs a friend. So that's why I got Roxy. Oh, for having girlfriend now. Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, look, she was actually pretty dope about paying for shit. She, like, basically took me to Hawaii. Granted, it was for work. You know, she, like, was a work trip and I was just tagging along. But she was always cool about that. I mean, we just did so much shit. You know, we go out to dinner. Sometimes I'd get it. Sometimes she'd get it. But just doing all that shit all the time costs money, no matter how much she's picking up the tab. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah. So in general, like, yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's yeah, it's good. It's nice. It's not, but it's not like that was the biggest drag. You know, I don't know, man. Every time I get into a breakup, I just sort of like, bleh. Even if it's like, woo, that was great. I just like get depressed for a while. And that's just where I am. And I'm like, I'll break out if it's sometime. Feel good when I go to the gym. When I sauna and cold plunge, small time, I'm telling you, buddy, if you can do it in your town, I highly recommend it. Give it a shot one time. That would be a lighter wallet, Matt. Right, yeah, I knew what you meant there. I didn't. I figured it out now with the context. Sorry, I'm not that bright. You guys we've gone through this, you know? We've been there. Well, that's why I just spent it. No. No, I did. You guys are funny. I did go. Actually, maybe I won't talk about that. Never mind. I'll just blow right past that. We will, I guess, if this fucking stream ever goes live, we'll watch it. Oh, there we go. Start listening. Is it up? Okay, it's up. Oh, let's check it out, guys. Donnie T, Elon Musk. Let's go. I don't know how this is gonna go. This is what's playing. It's not me. Got it. 780,000 listeners, dude. Yo, that's crazy. And we're just getting like Trump just playing. He's playing the guitar right now. He's just showing his many talents. That's pretty cool of him. I like that he shares his art with us as well as his political point of view. Beep boop boop. Speaking of beep bop boop, see Gina Carano fucking suing? Fuck yeah, I like that. She's like, you know what? That's bullshit. Good for her. I respect that. She's taking swings. Get it, girl. I think that's tight. Hopefully she gets some money out of that fucking horrible company. I saw a video from Critical Drinker the other day with Chris Gore. Oh, never mind. It sounds like the man's about to speak. This is the moment, everyone. This is the moment when he boomers up the fucking microphone. What? What the fuck? This is so weird. Finally got it going. And nothing. What's going on? Oh, I hope there's no embarrassing audio leaked. Oh, and then he's muted. And he's muted. Oh my god, dude. This has been such a clusterfuck, dude. How embarrassing. Oh, this is so embarrassing. Oh, can you not hear me? Oh, okay, that was you. Okay. I was like, oh no, was it me? Oh my god. This is 35 minutes late. Somehow finally got up. Trump comes on. They're passing the microphone. This is not a good look, dude. There's no way the left is not going to dunk all over this. Okay, good. All over this. I would. This is hilarious. There's no Elon? Am I doing this wrong? This is the biggest interview in history, yet it's 35 minutes late. No one can hear it. Look, I feel like Elon Musk and Donald Trump probably, I'm not sure, probably have more resources than me. I was able to be on time. You know what I mean? I was able to figure it out. I wonder if it just crashed. I have no idea, but this is unexpected. I thought we were just going to comment on what they were talking about. I didn't expect we'd be witness to a giant failure. Elon Musk. We will proceed with a smaller number of concurrent listeners at 8:30 and then post the unedited audio immediately thereafter. Oh, am I one of the privileged few? I'm one of the privileged few, guys. Oh, what do you know? You know, listless, I thought that was true, but then I saw Obama trending 2 different topics today. I think they do. I think they are on X. I think they are. The left has already had their fun today with J.D. Vance in drag photos, which is like, is that a Halloween costume? That's what it looks like to me. I mean, hello, Canadian Spider-Man. Good to see you, sir. I mean, look, I've showed you guys the clips. There's pictures of me in a dress. I'm just saying they exist. Plus, I, dressed up in one of my sketches, dressed up in the thing I'm working on. Might be bots. Good point, listless. Yeah, good point. But yeah, I mean, I was like, is that some kind of gotcha? Who gives a shit? He clearly looks like he's like 19 years old. Wow, way to go. I thought that was something to be celebrated. I thought it was a good thing. It's not now? Now it's a bad thing to be in drag? Boy, oh boy. You're, everything you said earlier is going to firmly disagree with that. I don't know. Going in drag for Halloween doesn't bear blowing a horse. What is that whole horse blowing Tim Waltz thing? I have not gotten into that, nor do I really care to. I mean, I am so burnt on the back and forth between the left being like, J.D. Vance is weird. Yeah, well, Tim Waltz is a fucking stolen Fowler. Yeah, well, J.D. dressed up in jag. Tim blew a horse. It's just like, shut the fuck up. I don't care about the VP. Neither do you. Stop it. Fucking shut up, dude. Can we just focus on the fact that the media all of a sudden is like, Kamala is the greatest person who's ever lived, and I have not heard her speak in like 4 years? Do you think maybe we should all be focusing on that a little bit? Like, no, JD fucking weird. And look, truth be told, he's a little dorky, don't you feel? Just a little clunky. But I don't give a shit. I've never voted for a VP, and I never will. It's the VP. Who cares? We'll say, on Christopher Williamson's channel the other day, Tulsi Gabbard was on, and man, he should have picked her. If she would have done it, he should have picked Tulsi, dude. She is so grounded and smart and aware of what's going on and articulate and emotionally reasonable and fucking veteran and all this shit. I mean, I know Vance is a Marine, but I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I think that would have gotten a lot more fringe people in on the Trump cause myself. Tampon Tim's pretty good. That's pretty good. The alliteration works, and it's like something he voted into law. I think that's good. Her policy is no policy. Her policy is being a Democrat, and that's good enough. As long as she's on that side, is going to carry that globalist agenda. Who gives a shit what her record is? Who gives a shit that today she came out and was like, no taxing on tips? And you're like, that's Trump's platform. And then someone uncovered the fact that she actually was the deciding vote to make sure taxation stayed on tips. So it's like you had the chance. This isn't a principle. You just go with whatever's the wind. Yeah, that's honestly why I think she is the scariest candidate, because she has nothing. She doesn't have values. She just has like opportunistic instincts to go where whatever will get her power, she will go with. That's the scariest thing to me, because it's like, oh, well, you'll just run this country into the ground with not a second thought as long as it keeps you in office. That's the worst type of person that should be in charge. Obviously, she's an idiot. Obviously, it's all that stuff, but she has zero convictions, none. So you're just like, oh, that's the scariest person. That's terrible. You just bought and sold. You just a mouth. It's like, oof. And what a mouth she is, I hear. That's why I was surprised you brought it up, Sencha Dildo. Politics is so fucking gay. I agree. I was, going through a little bit of a depression, and I was just rolling through my Instagram yesterday. I was like, God damn it, dude, I don't care. Although I will say there's some good. This thing is still not off the fucking ground. It's still not going. Oh my God. I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to put it in the background for now, because I do have a funny politics clip. Oh, wait.
All right, hello everyone.
It's going.
My apologies for the late start. We unfortunately had a massive distributed denial of service attack against our servers. And saturated all of our data lines. Like basically hundreds of gigabits of data were saturated. We think we've overcome most of that, and so it's now time to proceed. But as this massive attack illustrates, there's a lot of opposition to people just hearing what President Trump has to say, and but I'm honored to have this conversation. I want to emphasize it's a conversation, and it's really intended to just get a feel for.
I love that it goes
what
Donald Trump
is
Elon
just
Musk,
like in a conversation.
Foulball Productions.
So it's hard to catch
like I'm
a vibe
part of this.
about
Like
someone
I'm
if
like
you
like
don't
I'm
hear
in
them
it.
talk in a normal way.
just three
when
chads
when there's
hanging
an
out.
adversarial interview, like no one's themselves in an adversarial interview. And this is really aimed
God, I wonder
at
how long this is gonna
kind
go.
of open-minded, independent voters who just trying to make up their mind.
There's a million people in this room.
Like what is
Guarantee everyone's doing.
what is it just like to have a
How
conversation?
awkward would that be?
Honored
God, if they accidentally clicked on it.
Donald, great to
a big fan.
to speak.
I wouldn't even know what to
we
say.
had a great conversation yesterday.
I like
As
you
mentioned
guys.
yesterday, if we could just record that conversation,
MAGA.
it would have been excellent.
It's like panic.
And I hope we can have something like that today.
It was weird
Well, I
that
think
Tim
we
Waltz
will.
guy
I'm pretty
immediately
sure we
just
will.
folded.
And congratulations, because I see you broke every record in the book with
Trump
so many
coming out
millions
strong,
of people,
being
and
Trump.
it's an honor. We view that as an honor. And then you do want silencing of certain voices. Usually those are voices that have something to say that are constructive, oftentimes constructive. And so we have to consider
Don't
it an
disagree
honor.
with
But
the man right there.
congratulations on breaking every record in the book tonight. That's great.
I will do no
Well,
such
thank
thing,
you.
Sencha Dildo. I will show that man the respect he
maybe,
deserves.
We could start off with, the assassination attempt.
Okay.
Which
I forgot
was
that
an
was in
incredible
there.
thing, and I have to
I
say
opened my drawer
that,
before, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
your
that.
actions after that assassination attempt were inspiring. You instead of shying away from things,
Baba
instead of
Booey.
ducking down,
Booey.
you
Was
were
it
pumping your fist
97?
in there and saying, "Fight, fight, fight!" And I think that's, the president of the United States represents America, and I think that is
Wow, well put.
that is America. That is strength under fire, and so that's a big part of the reason why I was excited to endorse
Bombing.
you as
Bombing.
the president of the United States for
Ooh, that's
having a term
uncomfortable.
here.
Oh, a little cringed out.
That was just incredibly inspiring. But
1 million.
what
yeah.
was it like for you?
What? He already talked.
Not pleasant. I have to be honest.
Pleasant.
I said there was blood. I had
pleasant.
most
That is
blood.
not much fun.
I didn't know I had that much blood. The doctors later told me that the ear is a place that is a very bloody place if you're going to get hit. But in this case, it was probably the best alternative you could even think about because it went at the right angle, and it was a
Dude,
hard
that was
hit.
only a month ago. It was 30 days ago.
I guess you would say surreal, but
feels like it happened last year.
You know, I was telling somebody you have instances like this or like a lot less than this where you feel it's a surreal situation. And I never felt that way. I knew immediately that it was a bullet. I knew immediately that it was at the ear.
Yeah.
And because it hit very hard, but hit the ear. And I also heard people shout, bullets, bullets, get down, because I moved down pretty nicely, pretty quickly, and we had bullets flying right over my head.
For being athletic.
So I'm glad I went down.
He's like, yeah, I dropped to my new
miracle was
Been doing that
I was looking
CrossFit.
in the exact direction of the
Got my
shooter,
squats
and so
down.
It hit me at an
test
angle
me.
that was far less
It did not look
destructive
very
than any
elegant to me.
other angle. So that was the miracle. That was
Yeah.
for those
Split
people that
second.
don't believe in God. I think we got to all start thinking about that. You
Let's
have to,
go, Daddy T.
I'm a believer now. I'm more of a believer, I think, and a lot of people have said that to me. A lot of great people have said that to me. Actually.
Legit, dude. If someone
But
tried
it
to
was,
kill you and at the last
it was
second you
amazing
moved
that I
your head
happened
and you
to be
lived,
turned just at that perfect angle.
that could make you religious.
And, all because I put down a chart on immigration that showed that the numbers were so great. I love that chart even more
maybe
now.
it's a sign.
I love that chart even more now.
It's an immigration sign.
Don't step on his
You
jokes,
highlighted
Elon.
a-
All right, he's
a
killing. He's
serious
on a roll.
And
Yeah.
at that moment,
That's right.
the bullet missed your, hit your ear, but
it doesn't show the number
missed,
anymore.
Missed your head.
Of how many
your-
people-
Well,
Oh, no,
the
there we go.
amazing thing is
No,
that
it doesn't.
the
1 million
sign, I
listeners.
said, bring down that sign on immigration.
million.
And it was
Damn.
literally about an eighth of a second where it would be
Wait.
good. And after that, it was going to be a disaster, no matter which way you were facing. But it just had that perfect angle, which was exactly at this shooter. Very sad situation. Such a sad situation. As you know, we lost somebody that was great, Corey, who
Yeah,
a firefighter,
that was really
a
sad.
great gentleman, a great
stories.
great trumper. He was just a fantastic
You guys wanna know a fun
family and
fact?
a fantastic man. And
There is
a friend of mine came up, Elon, and said, "I'd like to
0.008%
give
of the people
family
watching this
some kind
stream
of,
versus that one.
help." And I said, "That's great." He said, "Do you mind?" I said, "I don't mind at all." And he wrote out a check for $1 million, gave it to the wife, and she said, "This is really nice, but I'd rather have my husband back," which is a nice thing for somebody to say, to be
heartbreaking,
honest.
man.
She's great. The family is
brutal.
great. And we raised a lot of money for them and for two other gentlemen are unbelievable people also. They were hit really badly. They thought they were not going to make it, and they did. The doctors in the Butler area, I tell you, they were
Dilda. One step
incredible. They saved the two, and they were really hit tough, both of them, equally.
Yeah.
God damn.
And we
It was
thought,
rough, dude. That was rough.
My
It's
first
wild.
question was because I heard bullets flying over me. I said, "How many people were killed?" Because we had a massive crowd there.
I think if
a
fucking
tremendous
if Trump
thousands
didn't
and
go out
thousands
and
of
start
people, and
being
there was
Trump
no land. I mean,
so
it was
soon
just, it was all
after
people.
this, if he went away for a
How
while,
many people have been
and then
killed?
just
Because I
let the
knew there were
country be
other
like, God
shots
damn,
being
that was
fired.
crazy.
Sure.
I think the
And they
next time when he
said,
re-arose and
we don't
came
know
out,
yet,
people
but
it would
some
be
people have been badly
bananas.
hurt.
But he immediately went out and started
And,
talking, and you're just
I
like,
have to
oh,
give
all right, well,
the
now
secret
you're over it. I guess we're over it.
service sniper, they call him, or sharpshooter, but sniper, because
Papa
he didn't
God.
know there was a problem.
Babbling.
He's an extraordinary shot, obviously, and he didn't know there was a problem. And he was able to pick it all out within 5 seconds. And he used one bullet from very far away, I guess probably about 400 yards. The shooter was 130.
Pretty cocky. That's a
but he
pretty
was on
cocky
the,
sniper.
he was
One
on
bullet
the
on the
opposite side of the field and the
sniper
podium.
trying to kill the president.
And
I'd throw a
he
few
saw
extra just to be safe.
The smoke and the flame from
You
the
know,
gun.
just my feeling.
Immediately recognized it and immediately took a shot. And it was one perfect shot from very far away. And
Is that the conspiracy theory,
If he didn't
Papa?
do that, Elon, he would have.
That's interesting.
A
I
lot
haven't
of
heard
people,
this one yet.
A lot more people.
A lot of shit rolling around the internet. Hard to keep
badly
up
hurt
with all of
and
it.
killed.
That's
So
interesting.
I have to
Absolutely.
take my hat off to him because that's also a surreal. You know, he's been with them for 23 years, and he's never had anything like this. And all of a sudden, he has to act, and it's a very tough thing to act and to be shooting somebody. But he saw the gun, saw the smoke, saw the flame from the gun.
The flame.
Very far away. I obviously
The
has very
flame
good
from
eyes.
the
He's
gun.
got very good
No one's
vision,
ever
which
called
I
it the
assume
flame
you have
from
to
the
have
gun.
in that particular work, but he took
Absolutely.
aim very quickly, and they say it was approximately 5 seconds from long range,
Yeah.
one bullet. If that didn't happen, because
Yeah.
the shooter had a lot of bullets, he had a lot of
lot of
cartridges
bullets.
up there with him, so
Well,
could have been very.
I mean, that's clearly, he was very competent in taking that shot to stop the attempted assassination. But I mean, there does seem to be,
is Russia.
some pretty significant
I am
failings
real Russian.
elsewhere in the
Remember
system.
that guy?
Like, there's just no
FPS
way
Russia, that guy
like,
ruled.
how on earth does a shooter get on a roof 130 yards away? That seems crazy.
Elon's getting right into it. No
I think most
fluff.
people are wondering how on earth could such a thing
It's just
happen.
like
Well, I view it as two ways. There should have been nobody on the roof. There were people,
Yeah.
because there were so many tens of thousands of people there. There were people that were seeing
there were so
him.
many people. So
And there
many.
was
I mean,
one
way more
woman
than
with a red
Kamala. It's
shirt.
crazy.
And
Right.
Trump all over
I
it.
saw the video.
And she's screaming, that guy's got a gun. You saw it probably.
Yeah, those videos. I saw that
There's
shit.
a
That was
guy up
crazy.
there with a gun.
I mean,
That was
it's
nuts.
like, I guess, I mean, for my part, and I think probably many members of the public are wondering, how the heck are, basically people wandering by pointing out there's a guy on the roof with a gun.
Yeah.
And they're seeing
Begs
it,
a lot of
but,
questions, man.
somehow it's not being addressed. That does seem crazy.
Well,
It was
they're going
pretty
to learn
wild.
from this. The communication
wild.
between the local police,
Not
who sort of
pleasant. I want that as a
had
drop.
an idea, and then ultimately
not
a
pleasant
man
as a drop.
lifted himself up to the roof, could barely do it because he was pulling himself up, and
Yeah.
he saw the man with the gun. The man with the gun pointed the gun at him. He thought he was probably going to get shot, but he was
Shot.
like pulling himself up, and because of that, he couldn't get to his gun, and he fell down. Actually, very badly hurt his.
That's what happened.
Leg.
That didn't make any
his ankle.
sense.
I hear very
Leg.
badly, but
Okay.
but he fell down, and he did.
Yeah,
From what I
good point,
understand, he
small
did
time.
say there's a guy up
Nothing to
there
worry
with
about.
a gun, and the shooting started very quickly after that. I think it
did
forced
see that
the
Ascension
shooter
dildo.
to go maybe
Pretty rough. It was
quicker.
a
He
rough
was
one.
supposed to be a very good shot.
That was
Yeah.
embarrassing, really.
My
Not that it
sons,
matters, though. Stuff like that
Don
will
and
only
Eric,
ever come to
they
people
can't
who are like,
believe what happened, but they said
clued
from
into that.
130
No one will ever give a
yards,
shit.
a bad shot would hit that target almost every time. They said it's like in golf,
Yeah.
sinking a 2-foot putt.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's not a
No,
tough shot.
it's not a long shot. The
Jake,
Secret
confirm?
Service person
Jake
had the
D,
long
our
shot. He
resident
had
firearms expert,
triple
can
the
you
distance,
confirm?
actually. So
I've heard that. I've heard that before.
It was
heard many people say that.
a terrible thing.
I've
Look,
fired ARs, but not in a while.
It's
and
hard.
certainly
I
not
have
from
to
a
say
prone
this about
position
the
at a far
Secret Service.
target.
When I went down, and I went down based on I think they're screaming, but other people also, because people saw this happen. You had so many people. One of the miracles was that nobody ran. I mean, if a gun goes off, the crowd
Yeah.
control people showed us this. When guns go off, and it does happen in stadiums at a soccer match or some kind of a match, everybody flees. They call it
Yeah.
a stampede, like cattle.
He's right.
But everybody, and a lot of
Yeah.
people get killed with those stampedes. We had
Sure.
more people than you'd have at, some of these matches or these games, and nobody left.
So many
You had
people, more
a
people
small
than the
group
Super Bowl.
behind us in the grandstand,
Just in
and
Pennsylvania.
that was full. And you look at it as it was taking place, and normally they'd be running. They didn't leave. They saw that I was hurt. They saw a lot of
These
blood.
colors don't run, and
they
neither
saw
do
that
my
I
crowds.
went down, and it's almost like they wanted to be with me. Well, out front, you had thousands, tens
All right.
of thousands of people.
Copy
As
that.
far as
Jake
the eye
Diesel.
could see, you had people in Butler.
I thought it was.
as far as the eye could see, and
Is it
and
400
Yeah.
feet or 400
and a lot of
yards?
press too. There was
I don't know.
many cameras on watching this.
If you're saying
It's
it's
what
not far, word.
makes it so different, because normally things happen that aren't good, but you never have a picture of it. Here we have all these cameras shooting it.
Oh, I see what you're
So,
saying.
you
You're
know,
like, for
sort
a
of
good shot, that's
amazing.
not
But
that far.
one of the
130
interesting
isn't-
things
okay,
was that
got it.
you didn't have anybody flee. You didn't have anybody stampede.
Sure.
Nobody. And there were some people behind me. They stood up and they're looking like, I mean, I tell you, you want to have them in a foxhole with you. I want to meet some of those people
Oh,
because it's so different
interesting,
from what
Jake.
you heard. But
That's
so-
interesting.
So I was down, but the
Still pretty
Secret
close.
Service
Yeah.
guys,
Got
there were
'em.
bullets
I mean,
flying
you hit
right
'em.
over my head. You could hear them go whizzing, and
Yeah.
and these guys came jumping on
Retarded
top
Oswald.
of me, and a young lady,
With a
Kate,
red dot.
were jumping.
I fired with
they,
a red
they
dot in a
moved so
range of an
fast,
AR.
let me tell you, that took
didn't hit
tremendous
shit.
courage. Now, there was a lack of
Also, I was
coordination.
standing, and I didn't realize how
you know,
much it
obviously,
moves.
everybody
It
understands.
moves kind of a lot. You
somebody
really got
that building should have been
a
covered.
little wiggle.
And
Yeah, I mean,
that was the
I think
big
that,
thing.
like,
Bilbo Zax. Hello,
I mean, looking
sir.
at the
What's
aerial
going on,
views,
buddy? Good to see you,
that
man.
building would be like
How
the
you
number one
been?
spot for a sniper.
How
And
you
it's like
been?
if you were to pick like what is the favorite?
You busy? You want to
what if
join? You
so
want
if
to
the goal
fucking
is to
talk about
assassinate,
this
what's the favorite
monumentous
spot? That
occasion?
building.
You're right.
That building would be number one.
That would have been the spot.
wanna
It's like
come? I'll
you
send
couldn't
you the
ask
link,
for a
buddy.
better
No,
location. It's like number
No,
one.
that would have been the spot.
I don't know what my plan
You know
is.
what people think
Yeah.
is when
Make
the
sarcastic comments for
local
the next
police,
hour.
who, by the way, he
know.
really
I know. I'm back,
he
baby.
did what he was
I'm
supposed to do. He
back.
couldn't hold on any
I'm
longer.
back. And
And then when he
Yeah.
got his head just
Crushing
peeking
it.
above,
you know?
this guy standing there
On
with a
fire.
gun at his head, and when he fell down again, hurt his ankle very badly. But he was making the calls. But what happened is the firing took place very soon. So what they
Yeah.
think is that this guy ran to his site, which he had all planned out with the gun.
What exactly is
He
Elon
ran
trying
to
to
the site
accomplish
and
with
he
all
started
this? I mean,
shooting fast, and
I've
maybe
heard
that's
all this
why
before.
he
From Trump at the RNC,
well, he sort of
actually.
missed. I mean, you know,
I don't know.
he,
We're just
Yeah,
recapping
but
the
that's just-
assassination
it would've
attempt to
been-
like
I mean,
remind everyone that it happened, or is he
could
just
have been a much
curious?
bigger
Like,
problem.
I don't
But he
know.
totally would have hit if you hadn't turned your head. So, like, there was a
Yeah,
it
interesting,
was
Jake.
a very near thing.
It was
so,
a miracle. If I hadn't
um,
turned my head,
Yeah.
I would not
All
be
good,
talking
Zax.
to you right now. As much as I like
No
you,
worries,
Exactly.
my friend.
I would not.
Yeah.
I would not be talking.
Maybe he's talking to me from another realm, perhaps.
Yeah, that's right. We'd be talking from a
so-
different place. But it was a
Calling
it was
from
a very
heaven.
terrible experience.
God's a big
The
fan.
Butler
God loves
Hospital,
Trump.
They did such a great job.
He's got his MAGA hat on.
The
Everyone up
doctors were
here,
so
big
good.
fans.
Everybody was so good. There was a mistake. If somebody knew, because people were hearing that, there was just a bad feeling that there was somebody was around. You know that story now. It's been
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if somebody could have said, because they've
There was a
oftentimes
vibe?
said, like there'd be a lightning
Trump
storm
believes
or
in
something. Because
vibes?
I've done, I think over 300. I think I did a lot more than that, but we did a lot. And oftentimes they'll say, "Sir, could you wait 10 minutes, please? Sir, could you wait 20 minutes? There's a storm
That's not
overhead
a
or
bad
lightning
point,
or
small
something,
time.
right?"
That is
that
100% what he
often.
said, and
this
that
would have
is
been a
not the
perfect
case.
time for that to have happened, but it
Yeah.
didn't get coordinated. That was the problem.
There was the problem.
Well,
That
it
was
was
the problem.
your. I think your actions in the heat of fire, and like.
Oh my
What
God!
I
Why is
found
Elon
admirable
so
there was
befuddled?
that you can't fake bravery under such circumstances. The courage is instinctual, or it is not. It's not a rehearsed action. And so I just want to say that I think a lot of people admire your courage under fire there. And
Well,
yeah, so
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. I appreciate it. I didn't think of it. I just wanted to get up, and I wanted to stand up. I wanted to let people know. I felt I was good when they
It's not a
were
bad point,
on
Zax.
top of me, covering
Don't disagree
me.
with
Actually,
you.
very much covering me, and
I
very
mean-
bravely. But I
Yeah,
wanted to
I see
get
what-
up.
I see your
said,
point.
I want to get up, and
It is an interesting.
they
It's
wanted.
interesting to hear
they
someone
had-
who was
they have
almost
everything. They
assassinated
have,
talk about
they
that
wanted
moment.
Stretcher. I didn't
mean,
like the stretcher, and I knew
I
I
don't
was
know.
hit
Did
in the
Reagan
ear, but I
talk
knew
about
I
it
wasn't
much?
hit anywhere else. They felt I
I
was
don't
hit
remember.
someplace else.
Media was much
It
different
was
back
such
then,
a
though.
lot of blood,
And
they were sure that I
Donnie
was
T
hit
loves to
someplace else.
talk.
And they were.
We know
saying,
that
"Sir,
about him. He loves to talk,
You were
and he's
hit
back
more
on
than the ear." I
on
said, "Nope,
X.
I was hit in the ear. I want to
On
get
X.
up. Let me get up."
Doesn't that suck
so
if you
I
invested
got
in
up,
Truth Social and you're like, what the fuck?
and the
man?
crowd didn't know
You're
what
back
to
on
think.
X,
I mean, this
dude.
was
Shit. I
so
just
many
blew
people, and
millions.
you could see they were confused. They didn't know what to think, and I wanted to let them know I was okay.
It's actually a good
it was
point,
very
and
important
it's
for me to
true.
let them know that.
People have moved
and they
on.
went
Acting
wild.
almost
You-
like I
you've
haven't.
seen
No
the
one talks
after-
about.
They
Could you
didn't
imagine
go wild when I
Yeah.
got
if
up
there was an
because they didn't know
assassination attempt on
was
Obama?
alive. You
How
really couldn't
much
tell. When I
that would
stood up
still be talked
before
about
the hand,
to this
before
day.
the fist in the air.
It was like it didn't happen. They're all just like, let's
they
just,
didn't know if I was
he's
alive.
fine. We'll move on.
Nobody
Thoughts and
did.
prayers to literally
And,
Hitler, and we're moving along.
when
we're
I
moving,
put the
moving
fist
right
up, they
along.
were-
By the way,
they were
Kamala,
just
she's
relieved
black,
and
so
happy
that's
and
better.
thrilled, and the place
crazy.
went crazy.
So we live in an insane
It
time.
was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It was a terrible
well,
thing, but it was
incredibly
nice.
moving. Yeah.
Another comment, another
Well,
shitty comment on that
I mean,
Stavi
speaking
post.
of the
Just saying.
the sort of
Just
slide
saying.
that got you to turn that saved your life really was the illegal immigration slide.
Black.
Maybe
My friends are
we're
black.
talking about that.
It was
that slide saved
you're
your
right.
life.
No,
basically.
the
It
illegal
really looks like the
immigration saved
three
my
of
life.
us
You're
are having
right,
this
but it was-
conversation. It
it
looks
had
like
to be at an
Don,
exact
Elon, and me.
angle.
Just
that's a
three
great one.
fucking
Saved
titans
by
having a
illegal
You know,
conversation,
the
chopping it
incredible
up.
thing, though, when you talk about the odds, you had to be exactly at
Oh,
that
that's awesome.
angle. But the incredible thing is that the chart, I used it less than 20% of the
1.1
time.
million.
It was
now.
just a moment.
Yeah.
It's always on my left,
God, I'd
never my
kill
right.
for those
and
numbers.
it's always at the end of the speech. So
Yeah.
here we have it. It's on the right, not the left. It's at the beginning, not the end. And even the people that put it up, they were unprepared, and they did a great job. They got it up immediately, fortunately.
I'll tell you, man,
But
Don
I
still
looked to the
sounds
right,
confident.
and the bullet,
salient.
and the bullet
He's
came
just, you know,
whizzing by, hitting my ear.
They always get him because he talks too much, so
So
they'll
it
get
was
that
amazing,
clip where he
but
sounds
when
like
you
an
think of
idiot.
the
But if you
odds
just
of
listen to
that-
him speak, he,
And
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
on top of shit.
That normally you wouldn't use it. Normally I wouldn't have the thing, and then it
Yeah.
would have been a very different story. It's very much.
I don't know.
I
think this
I
man
say
rules.
an act
I
of
love him.
God. It's
go,
a
Donnie.
miracle.
Let's go,
that
Donnie Day.
It happened, and I'm honored by it. I'm honored by it.
Well,
Fuck yeah.
well, what were you about to say about illegal immigration before you were rudely interrupted? with
Well,
the
I was
bullet?
going to say how good the numbers were. By the way, we're going back to Butler, and we're going to
Great.
go back
That's
in October. We're
baller,
all
dude.
set
He's
up,
going
and
back
we're-
there.
The people are
That
fantastic.
is
in
gonna
Butler.
be
It's a great area.
nuts.
Great. These are incredible people.
That's baller,
Like the
dude.
three
What a
that, in
good
the case
move.
of
That
Corey
rally
killed, and
is
the other
going to be
two, the
fucking
families I got to know them a little bit,
huge.
and the families are great. But we're going back to Butler, and I think I'll probably start by saying,
Thank God. Imply it was a
as I
miracle.
was
Make
saying,
a joke about how he saved that chubby
Yeah,
Secret
yeah,
Service.
I
Well, he
should
did
say-
earlier.
so horribly
He brought up God.
interrupted,
Yeah.
but
And he
Yeah, so
said it was there were
rudely
multiple
interrupted by
miracles,
his
is what I
Yeah,
said.
so-
Not
But
the
no,
chubby
but the
Secret
chart-
Service chick.
Some people
though.
have-
He's
have
done
no
nothing
manners.
but
Elon, the
praise the
chart
Secret Service.
was
He doesn't
just a
talk shit
chart
about
that
them at all.
in my last week, we
I
had
guess
the
if
best
there was a group of people who were responsible
illegal,
for keeping me alive,
immigration numbers,
I
meaning
probably
stopping.
would.
It was at
be
the lowest.
nice
You've
to
seen
them.
the chart. It's become quite a
Probably
famous
not
chart.
yeah.
But
being shitty,
that was
you
the
know?
lowest
Yeah.
point ever recorded. It was
lowest.
a really, I mean, I was very proud of those numbers. And then you see what happened with these people, Kamala and Joe.
Want to see my face?
You see what happened.
Is that better?
They just let it go. I had remain in Mexico
No, I don't
policies.
like
I had all these different
That's
policies that
actually
was
not
so
too bad.
good.
All right, we'll do that. I'm down the
Guys
corner.
like Tom Holman and Brandon Judd from Border Patrol. These are all
Gotta
people
get that
that
soundbite.
they've been
That's
on
what's
television.
news
They
these
said
days.
the best
Yes.
numbers we've
Well,
ever
that's
had. We
making
had
a
so
move
many
now.
different checks. Catch and release in Mexico, not the United. We had catch and release in the United States.
Catch and
we had
release.
it in
The way
Mexico.
he
We had so
emphasizes
many
words
things.
is
We
so
had
funny.
things where
Because
if
I'm not
people-
entirely
many
sure what
people
he's
come in there,
emphasizing.
they have
Catch
contagious
and release.
diseases.
Like, why hit the
We
catch
had
so hard?
everything passed. If you
I don't
have
know.
a contagious
He's
disease,
just a
I'm
strange
sorry,
guy.
but we
He's
cannot
the
allow
best
you
choice,
into the country.
right?
So we were
Make
setting
America great
literally
again.
records, and all I was doing is showing that, and I
Yes,
use
precisely,
it sometimes,
Sancho.
and
Precisely.
in this case, I'm glad I used it. I can tell you that, but they were fantastic numbers. But I'm going to sleep with that chart always. I'll be sleeping with that chart. That chart
like a teddy
was,
bear. He's gonna hold
was
on
very
to that.
important.
Kept me alive.
very
Oh.
important for a lot of reasons.
Well,
Lot
I
of
mean,
reasons. Lot of
would it
reasons.
be
A lot of
accurate
people
to,
saying
would
it's
it
the
be
best
accurate
chart.
to say that you're supportive of legal immigration, but that but we obviously need to shut down illegal immigration and especially unvetted illegal
Yes.
immigration because and that's not the same as saying that everyone who's an illegal immigrant is bad. In fact, I think most people
the
who are
fuck implies
illegal
that?
immigrants are actually good, but you can't tell the difference unless there's a solid vetting of who comes across the border. Does that accurately
100%.
represent your position?
I say it
Okay.
very simply. They have to come in legally. They have to be checked.
Yeah.
Because look,
'Cause look,
Kamala was the border czar. Now she's denying it. Everything that I do, she's saying she was strong on the border. We're going to be strong. Well, she doesn't have to say it. She could close it up right now. They could do things right now. It's
Good
horrible.
point. Good point.
No tax on tips, and all of a sudden she's making a speech and there will be no tax on tips. I said that months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, they had just the opposite. They had not only tax on tips, but they hired 88,000 IRS agents.
Yes, they did.
And
It's
many
not
of them
wrong.
were assigned to go get waitresses and caddies and all of this on tips. They have a policy. They had a policy that they were really going to go after you. And we're really harassing people horribly.
Tell 'em.
And then all
Tell
of
'em,
a sudden,
Don.
for politics, she says, she comes out with what I said, which I think is terrible. And I think it's also hitting them very hard. These people are fake. Now they're also saying they did a good job on the border. We had the worst numbers in the history of the world, not of our country. There's never been a country in history that has had a catastrophe like this. We've had, I believe, and I think you believe this too, you hear 12 million, 13. I believe it's over 20 million people came into our country, many coming from jails, from prisons, from mental institutions, or a bigger version of that is insane asylums.
Look at all the stories of all the crimes.
Many are
Probably
terrorists.
right.
And I'll tell you what, they're coming not just from South America, they're coming from Africa, they're coming from all over the world. They're coming from Asia.
Don't come
They're
at me. Don't come at
the
Casa
Middle
de
East.
Fowler.
They're coming from countries that are stupidly and horribly bombing Israel October 7th. They're coming from all over the world. And you look at, it's so
Is that free
sad,
association?
October 7th,
what was that?
because it should
That
have
was
never happened.
That was a lot of different
It's so
points.
sad when you look
He
at
just threw out
Ukraine.
there.
It should have never happened. We have a defective government. These are defective people. And they're not people that should be running it. But where you see it the best is the border, because you have millions of people coming in a month, and then she gets up and she tries to pretend like she's going to do something. She had 3.5 years. And by the way, they have another 5 months that they can do something, but they won't do anything. It's all talk. She's incompetent and he's incompetent.
Tell him.
And frankly, I think that she's more incompetent than he is. And that's saying something, because he's not too good.
No, I think
because he's not too good.
It is essential to have
He's
a
oddly
secure border.
reverent to
I mean,
Biden at
you're really not
times.
a country unless
Like,
you have
not
a secure border.
polite or nice, but I mean, he's oddly
and secure elections.
reverent,
Yeah, absolutely.
Even
secure
when he was in
elections,
the debate, he's
and,
just like, I don't know what he just said there. I don't think he does
It's just essential
either.
to have a real
It's like
border.
disrespectful, but
or
it's
we
not
can't function
mean,
as a
in
country,
the way that
and
he
our
is with
services,
other people.
Our
It's
central
weird.
services
I mean,
are
it's just
being
interesting.
overwhelmed in a lot of cities.
Bro, I love it. Still looks like it's the three of us having this conversation.
Having a legal immigration process that is smooth and efficient and done well, and I'm speaking as someone who is a legal immigrant. And
he's illegal.
I
Get
think
him out.
I mean, like one way to think of it is, who do you want on your team? Who do you want on Team America? And I think we want to just say, okay, we want to let in people who are gonna, be great contributors to our society and to our economy, and and who do you want on the team? And it's not to say that, like, in my opinion, actually, I'd say like probably most of the illegal immigrants actually are actually good, hardworking people. That's my opinion. But some are not, and you just have this sort of adverse selection process where, if somebody's if somebody's like has a career in theft or robbery, I don't understand what's taken them so long to get here, because we're such a target-rich environment.
Listen, what was it? Winston Churchill said, democracy is the worst system of government, except for all the other ones.
Bad things.
And
coming
he was
here
never wrong about
because
anything. So
I mean, it's a piece of cake to go.
I do
rob,
love that quote, though. It's a pretty good one.
Houses in L.A. or New York, compared to other parts
Dude,
of the
that's
world.
a great point,
And,
Sax. When I lived in L.A., man,
and
the Mexicans
a lot
who
of
came
places in
over
America,
legally, boy, did they
if you try to stop
resent
the
and
person
hate
who's
the
robbing you,
illegals. That was
you'll
like
be
Mexican. They were
arrested.
like, what the fuck, man? I went through all the hoops and all that, and you just like rush
what's
over the
happening
river?
with crime.
Bullshit.
And our police
It's a
are
good
so
point,
good, but they're
Sax.
not
It's a
allowed
very
to do
good
their
point,
job.
buddy.
But I have to tell you, Elon,
They're
I hate
not.
to say it because it's such a downer to say it. I hate to say it. I hate it. But you have a lot of people that just shouldn't be. I think it's a much bigger number than you think. They're allowing,
think you're
again,
right,
they're
yeah.
allowing people from their jails. And if you were running one of these countries where they're coming from, you would have had all of them. As an example, Venezuela, their crime is down 72%. They're taking their drug dealers. They're taking, frankly, their prisoners.
That's
they're emptying
true.
out their
Very
prisons.
interesting.
They're taking their criminals, their murderers, their rapists, and they're delivering them into.
But that's what Castro did.
Yeah,
that.
well, he did on a much smaller scale.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
a
I saw
much smaller
Scarface.
scale. But this is a massive scale because this is being done worldwide. But here's what's happening: crime all over the world is down. And wait till you see the numbers that we have. This is migrant crime. This is crime that's going to be.
Yeah.
And I saw it today in New York where somebody was knifed with a
yeah, I saw that story.
raped the girlfriend of a man that stood there watching in New York in one of the shelters.
Pretty brutal, pretty rough story.
Started pulling out the knives, and bad things happened today. But this is happening every day. These are rough people. These are people that are in jail for murder and all sorts of things. And they're releasing them into our country, and they're telling them, if you come back, we're going to kill you. We're going to give you the death penalty or kill you. So they don't want to come back. But these are rough people.
That's true, man.
These are criminals that make our criminals
What's your
look
argument
like nice
against
people.
it?
And it's horrible.
What are you talking about?
And she's in charge of it because, now she's trying to say she had nothing to do with it.
I mean, they
And
fought
she's such a
Texas
liar
over,
because she
putting
was
their
called
Texas
the border czar the
State
first day,
National
and it
Guard
was
or
on the
whatever
headlines of
to
every
use it.
newspaper.
They
She's the
fought
border czar.
Texas to
And
stop
she never even went
the
there. She went
influx
to
of
one
immigrants.
location
It's crazy.
which had nothing to
It's
do
crazy.
with the problem.
What no
is.
country
She went
is
in
a
and out
functioning
because she
country
was getting a lot of
operates
pressure,
like
but
this. It's insane.
had nothing to do with the problem.
Yeah.
But she was the border czar. And people can't allow
interesting
them
little fact.
to get
I didn't
away
know
with
that,
their
Section Dildo.
disinformation campaign. Now she's trying
it makes
to say
sense,
that
right?
she wasn't really involved, and the whole thing is horrible. She was totally in charge. She could have shut the border down without him. He didn't know what he was doing anyway.
Bro,
so he
funniest
thing.
End of Biden's administration.
You could shut the border down. He wouldn't even know the difference.
Hilarious, dude.
But,
hilarious.
The fact
8
is
years
that she
of
was
shitting on Trump for wanting a wall.
But if you don't
Probably
have to
more.
call her that.
And then he's just like, I guess,
fact
yeah,
is
we'll
you
build
could
a
just
wall.
call her. She was in charge of the border, and the border was the worst ever.
How can you function? How do you look at
It's
yourself
simply
in the
not
mirror
working.
being
No,
such a
it's
hypocrite?
horrible.
I'll never understand that.
Whether it's a question of intention or competence, either way, we don't have a secure border, and we have people streaming over like it looks like a World War Z zombie apocalypse at times. And sometimes you got to sort of wonder, like, is it real or not? So because you see things like, is it real? I went to the border at Eagle Pass, and I saw for myself in Texas.
Twix
and I was like,
can be their VP.
okay, it's real. I'm like seeing this in real time. I actually posted the video like just live. I just flew there one day and just to see, hey, is this made up or real? And I'm just seeing people stream across the border.
It's crazy.
And I have to say, at least the people that I saw did not look friendly.
These are
people can look at my video and say, hey, these people look friendly. I don't look super friendly. So
these are people that Elon would not be the same man if he had to walk across the street and look these people in the eye. These are rough people. These are really rough people coming across. And I know rough people. And these are people that we don't want in our country.
I listen to this guy talk. I'm like, this guy sounds sharp. He sounds smart. Sounds who I want in charge.
And who's doing this?
I don't know.
Is
I don't
heads
see
of
the argument against him,
countries.
really.
And you would be doing it, and so would I.
Just
and
like
everyone would say, oh, what a terrible thing to say.
person.
The fact is, it's brilliant for them because they're taking all
the
of
best
their
choice across the
bad
board.
people, really bad people. And I hate to say this, the reason the numbers are much bigger than you would think is they're also taking their non-productive people. Now, these aren't people that will kill you. We have enough of them. But these are people that are non-productive. They are just non-productive. I mean, for whatever reason. They're not workers or they don't want to work or whatever. And these countries are getting rid of non-productive people in the caravans in many cases. And they're also getting rid of their murderers
even if
and their
they're the
drug
best
dealers
people,
and the
you can't
people
just
that are
let
really
everyone flood a country
people. And
from other
they're coming
countries.
into our
There's not the
country at levels
infrastructure
that have
here.
never
There's not
been
the
seen
housing.
before.
There isn't like
and I saw an ad just
the
before I got on
hospitals.
the
You
air.
can't just have people just
walking over
flood
here,
into a country
and I saw an
that
ad
has a
by
set
Kamala
population or a roughly set
saying
population.
how she is going
and just let
to
them in.
provide
I don't care if
border
they're all
security.
saints.
Where has she been for 3.5 years?
All they want to do is
3.5 years.
pet
Yeah, no,
puppies
this-
and
We have 20 million people.
save
for this.
orphans. You can't just have them
It's a
all
terrible-
rush
Yeah, I
into a
think this-
country. That's
frankly,
not sustainable.
I
It's
think this is a
impossible. It ruins
fundamental
the country that is
existential
hosting.
issue for the United States. And if we have another 4 more years of open borders, and it's going to be even worse with another 4 more years, it's going to be even worse than it's been for the past 3.5 years. I'm not sure we've got a country.
You don't
left
have a country
at that
left.
point.
Elon,
Tell
if they get in, you will have 50 to 60 million people from all over the world, not South America only. You know, we think of South America, we think of Honduras and El Salvador, Guatemala, and Mexico.
I feel like Zach's might
but
have
it's
a
not
problem
that.
with
It's
that. I don't know.
everywhere. They're coming in from everywhere. And I had to stay in Mexico.
I think
100%,
this is a super
100%
important
accurate,
point.
brother.
Like people, it's like
It's true.
Well, basically, when I went down there, I was like, well, where are
100%,
people
man.
from? It's like almost no one was from Mexico. to
No,
be clear.
Mexico less-
It's just
less
it's
than
just the
the
border. It's just the border with Mexico. But the people coming in, it's Earth, the rest of Earth, and America is only about 4 or 5% of the population of Earth. It would only take a few percent of the rest of Earth to overwhelm everything in the
We're
US.
already overwhelmed, Elon. We're overwhelmed. You had to see the
can't
news
even shit
tonight
on the
about
beaches
New
over
York.
there.
New York, and I
Tyranny.
love that place. And what they're doing to it is horrible. What they're doing to it, and all the courts do is they try and focus on Trump. Okay, let's focus on Trump, who did nothing wrong. I complain about a rigged election. Elon, what's happened is unbelievable. You have from Africa. From the Congo, they're coming from the Congo, and 22 people came in from the Congo recently, and they're murderers, and they drop them. They drop them. They take them out of jails, which is very expensive, to maintain the jails. Although they don't do too much maintaining, I can tell you. But they take them out of jails, prisons. They take them out.
I
and
can't
they bring
imagine
them
a
to the United
Congolese
States.
prison is a nice place to be.
They deposit them in the United States,
I would
and they
say
don't
that
ever
that's
come back. They're
probably
going to be
accurate.
executed, and they don't want to come back. But they won't come
Shout
back.
out Congo.
But they're coming from Africa. They're coming from Asia. They're coming from the Middle East. They're coming from South America.
China,
they're coming
too.
from
Rest of Earth,
everywhere.
basically.
China.
And there are a lot of
Yeah,
really
everywhere.
Like one
bad
of our
ones.
biggest
It's just,
enemies. They're like
it's
Chinese
just an
nationals
everywhere on
coming
Earth,
in.
Thing, and it's just not
How
possible
is
for
that
the United States
a
to
thing
absorb,
that is okay
everyone
in
from
this
Earth,
day and
or,
age?
even
You let
a
your
few
enemies
percent
come
of
into
the
your
rest of Earth.
country
It's just not
unvetted?
possible. So,
Well, Elon, we're going to have
Why?
just to-
Unless you want to
just
destroy the
finish
country,
this up,
why
we're
would
gonna
you do
have
that?
the largest deportation in history of this country, and we have no choice. Otherwise, we're going to have a country. What they've done to our country. Think of it, with in Venezuela and in some of these other countries, crime is down 50, 60, 70, 80%. And you would be the same. You would have.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Although I don't know that I'm gonna
Venezuela has
trust
not gotten
Venezuela's
rid of all of them.
numbers
They've gotten rid of about
necessarily.
70% of
Just
their
saying.
really bad people. Their jails are about 50% put into the United States. Same with other countries. Some
Sure.
are 30%, some are at 50%. They're all different. But the bottom line is they're all going to be at 100%. Why wouldn't
Good
you put 100%
point, small
of
time.
it?
Another
And
banger,
they're
buddy.
doing it right now.
Fucking
while
A.
this third-rate phony candidate. Don't forget, I beat Biden. He failed in the debate miserably.
True.
And, some people said, oh, gee, it's too bad.
Damn,
it's too
dude,
bad he
that's
did
so
so badly,
scary.
or I did well in the debate. The first night they
That's
said,
so scary.
wow. One of the people
Wow.
at CNN said that was the greatest debate performance I've ever witnessed. And then 2 days later, they didn't talk about that. They just said he was bad. But that's okay. That's the way I get treated, and I don't mind that at all. What I can tell you is this. We cannot have a
literally
Democrat.
next
We
door
cannot have her.
to
She's
this
incompetent.
apartment building?
She's as
Remember
bad
this
as
apartment
Biden in a
right
different.
there, on the other side of that
he
wall.
hasn't done an
I had a
interview
family
since this whole
20 Afghani
scam started.
people.
And
Granted,
and say what you want.
they
This
were
was a
fine.
coup.
They were nice. Their
This
kids were
was a
running around
coup of
playing
a
in the yards, no
president
big
of the
deal.
United States.
But
He didn't want to
Afghani
leave,
people,
and they said we can do it
20.
the nice
Yeah.
way, or we
it
can
was
do
crazy.
it the hard way.
I was just like,
Yeah,
damn, that's
I'm just
wild.
talking about
Granted, I
behind
think
the
they're
shed
like
and basically
classified
trying
as
to-
refugees.
Oh, what they did with this
but
guy,
it was like,
and I'm no
whoa,
fan
man,
of his,
that's
and he was a
different.
horrible
Very
president, the
different.
worst president in history. And one of the reasons he was so bad, first of all, the Israeli attack would have never happened.
Fucking A, Sanjay
Russia
Bilbo.
would never have attacked Ukraine, and we'd have no inflation. And we wouldn't have had the Afghanistan.
Well, we
mess,
would have
if you
had some
think of it.
inflation. We had
And
COVID.
We wouldn't have had
inflation.
Afghanistan. But we think of it. You take
I'll
a
let
few
the man
of those
cook, but
events
we would have
away,
had
and we have a
inflation.
different world.
We just
would
printed
also have
No,
no
no,
millions and millions of
inflation
money
was
during
caused by
COVID. We
oil.
would have-
Yeah,
What?
no. I think you're making an excellent point here, which is that when other
Wanted to hear
countries,
that.
that are thinking about invading or doing bad things, when they're thinking about that, they're thinking about, okay, what's the American president going to do, and do they fear the American president, or is there someone they do not respect and do not fear? And I think they
Money
do
printer go
they would. They rightfully be. I mean,
Yeah, I agree with that, Jake.
The footage with the
I
assassination.
think the economy was
they're
much
like,
better.
Okay,
And if he gets in office, I think it will be better.
President Trump is,
But I'm pretty sure
is like,
he strongly
don't mess
contributed
with
to
me.
inflation.
I mean, that's like, whereas I think people are not going to be, and they obviously.
Though
have
I'm
not
genuinely
been at
curious
all
what his point was there about the
intimidated by
oil
Biden, and
making
they certainly
inflation
will not
go
be
up. I'd like to
intimidated
hear
by
more
Elon.
him
And you
talk
have to
on
really
that more.
Think of that in the context of global security. That if the American president is someone that, like, evil dictators are scared of, that makes a huge difference to the security of the world.
So I had a good relationship with Putin, despite the Russia hoax that lasted for over 2 years.
Tell
It's just
him.
a hoax created by Hillary Clinton
Tell him.
Adam Shifty Schiff, some just bad people, just sick people.
Adam
frankly.
Shifty
I mean,
Schiff.
Schiff is a
Just
sick
call him
person.
Adam
He's going to
Shifty.
end up probably being a
You
senator.
don't need to say the second
It's hard
Schiff
to
part.
believe. The whole thing is hard to believe. But, they put our
AOC
country
and
in
Omar
danger
are
with
fucking
that stuff,
senators,
too.
so.
They actually, when they make up stories, and you have to fight your way out of it for a long time. But I know Putin very well. I got along with him very well. He respected me.
That's
and
going to get
it's
clipped.
just one of those things.
That's
And
getting clipped.
we would talk a lot about Ukraine.
Oh, there
it was
we
the apple of his eye.
Jesus.
But I said, don't ever do it. Don't ever do it. I shut down Nord Stream 2. That was the big oil pipeline, the biggest
That's
pipeline in
getting
the world,
clipped,
going all
for
over Europe.
sure.
I shut it down. Biden came, and then they say,
Yeah.
I loved Russia. I was a friend of Putin, and I loved Russia. No, he actually said to me one time, he said, if you're my friend, I'd hate to see you as an enemy. I shut down his pipeline, the biggest pipeline. They were looking at that to fund, and
Putin.
this pathetic president gets in there, and the first thing he did, one of the early things he did, is he shut down Keystone XL pipeline, which is our pipeline that would have employed 48,000 people, pipeline workers, shuts it down. That was, a massive job that Obama refused to allow.
Yeah.
I allowed it in my first week because it was jobs and it moved oil. And by the way, in a much more environmentally friendly way. It's underground. It's not a truck that catches on fire or a train that catches on fire. But think of it. He shut down the XL pipeline, the Keystone XL pipeline.
Yeah.
He shuts that down, and he approves the Russian pipeline.
Yeah, it doesn't make any
Right?
sense. It's inconsistent. Certainly but I mean,
Tell
I
him,
think
Elon.
it's just worth emphasizing,
hold back, buddy.
to listeners.
We'll go get a beer. I'll BRB.
The immense importance of whether the United States president is intimidating or not intimidating, and how much that matters to global security, because there's some real tough characters out there, and if they don't think the American president is tough, they will do what they want to do.
I know every one of
and
them.
that puts the whole world in danger.
Elon, I know every one
It's
of
a
them,
big
and I
deal.
know them well. I know Putin, I know President Xi, I know Kim Jong-un of North Korea. I know every one of them. And let me tell you, people will say, oh, this is terrible. He said, I'm not saying anything good or bad. They're at the top of their game. They're tough, they're smart, they're vicious, and they're going to protect their country, whether they love their country. They
What other
probably
banger
do.
did
It's just a
Donnie T
different
say?
form of love, but they're going to protect their country. But these
Yeah.
are tough people at the top of their game. And when they see a Kamala or when they see Biden, Sleepy Joe, they can't even believe it. They can't believe this happened. All the stuff that you're seeing now, all the horror that you look at Israel, they're all waiting for an attack from Iran. Iran would not be attacking, believe me. When I was there, and I say it with respect because I think we would have been good with Iran. I don't want to do anything bad to Iran, but they knew not to mess around. Iran was broke because I told China, if you buy from Iran oil, it's all about the oil. That's where the money is. But if you buy oil from Iran, you're not going to do any business with the United States. And I meant it. And they said, we'll pass.
Yeah.
They didn't buy oil. Other countries likewise.
We'll
If you want
pass.
to buy,
I bet they
you're
were
not
like,
doing
God,
business
gee
with
whiz,
the
he
United
said
States.
it. We're not going to do
They
it.
were at a point where they had no money for Hamas. They had no money for Hezbollah. They had no money for any of these instruments of terror. And it was amazing. In fact, there were articles when I was leaving, which is hard to believe, actually, especially when you look at what's happened to our country. Our country is so bad right now. It's such a different place. We
don't
were
disagree.
respected. Think of it. 4 years ago, we were so respected to a point where when I said don't buy oil, they didn't buy oil. But they had no money, and Israel would have never been attacked. Zero chance. And again, I said to Vladimir
anyone
Putin,
think
I said,
that's
don't
true?
do it. You can't
I don't
do
know.
it, Vladimir.
I don't know enough
You
about
do
global
it, it's going to
politics
be a
to say
bad
definitely.
day. You cannot
But it
do
did
it.
happen under Biden.
And
Does anyone else
I
think
told
that
him
that's
things
true?
That what I do,
Just genuinely
and he
curious?
said, no way. And I said, way. And it's the last time we ever had the conversation. He would never have done. I got along well with him.
I would love two
hope
world
to get along
leaders to be on
well
the
with him
phone and be
again.
like,
getting
way.
along well with them is
Way.
a good thing, not a bad thing. I got along well with Kim Jong-un. When
he
I met
fucking
with
rules.
President
Jake does not
Obama, just before entering, it's a sort of a ritual. And I sat down with him and we talked. It was supposed to be for a very short period of time. It turned out to be a long period of time. I said, what's the biggest problem? He said, North Korea. I had that problem worked out very quickly. It was nasty at the beginning with Rocket Man and, all the different things.
He
but
loves his nicknames.
all of a sudden I got a call.
Those were some epic tweets, by the way.
Yeah, they were.
Like,
No, they were epic. Everything. He said that he has a red button on his desk. I said, I have a red button on my desk too, but my red button is much bigger, and my red button works. And then I called him Little Rocket Man, Little Rocket Man.
I really hope the conversation
line.
was
All of
not
a
two
sudden,
guys being like, "I'll nuke you. I'll fucking
And
nuke you
they
even
said they
more,
wanna meet.
man."
They want to meet me. And
All
we
right?
met, as you
wanna
remember,
go?
we met in
I got
Singapore. We
arsenal
met
of
also in
nukes.
Vietnam.
I really hope it was more
I got along
dignified
with
than
him
that.
great. We
but
were in no danger.
Maybe not.
But President
Trump, who knows?
President Obama thought we were going to end up in
Yeah.
a war. A nuclear war with
I
him.
agree
And
with
let me
that.
tell you,
Cedric.
he's got a
I
lot
think
of
that's
nuclear
100%
stuff,
true.
too.
Exactly.
Because it
He's
was
got
like he
plenty of
almost
nuclear.
immediately did it.
He
Like
can
the
do plenty
second,
of
the
damage.
second it happened.
So
Yes,
Second
I mean,
the
because
change in regime.
people like Kim
I agree with that.
Kim
The
Jong
Putin one.
Un.
I don't know
They
about the
respond to
Israel one. I don't know that
strength,
that has
not
anything to
weakness.
do with who is president of the United States.
He and I got it.
if you
He and I
project
had a good
strength,
Maybe?
relationship.
I don't know.
Remember I met him and we walked onto his
I don't really
land.
think of
Nobody ever
Hamas as
walked
all
onto
that
his land before.
strategically
I walked onto-
intelligent.
I wouldn't say,
Like
let's bring
they're
up
like
Secret Service
working
again.
out
I
all the
wouldn't say they were
details.
thrilled when I did that. I walked onto his
They like
land.
attacked a country,
And,
attacked a music
it
festival,
was-
and they're like, "Whoa,
it was an
why are
amazing
you attacking
period.
us back?"
But
It's
we were
like-
not in danger with him because of me. I always
Yeah.
say that we have enemies on the outside and we have enemies
I
on
love
the
'em.
inside. We have
It's
some
so
really
funny,
bad
dude.
people in our government.
Don't
people
call him a fat
that are-
pig.
and
A lot of
controlling
people saying
of
he's
the
a fat
people.
pig. Don't
I mean,
say
I
he's a fat
mentioned names,
pig.
but I really don't want to give them the credit. But we have some really bad, and I say they're more
hilarious.
dangerous than Russia and China.
Russia.
If you have a smart president, a president that gets it, we are not in danger from those countries because they need us and they need our help.
How long have we been
I
doing
mean,
this?
we
Like an hour
forced
already?
Obama. If you think about it, Obama
Dude
and
makes
Biden
points, man. I don't know.
and Bush, to a certain extent, in all fairness,
I have
forced
no
Russia
qualms with
and
Trump being
China
president at all.
together.
I'm like,
and if you're a
praying
history
for it.
student, the first thing
Like,
you
I
learn is
really,
you cannot
really
let
hope it doesn't go
Russia
the other
and
way.
China align. But then they also
Scares me
got,
if he doesn't get it.
if you take a look, Iran, and they have North Korea.
Iran.
They call it the axis of evil. In the old days, you had the axis of evil. Here we have a modern-day axis of evil. These are powerful countries, very heavy nuclear, which is the biggest threat. The biggest threat is not global warming, where the ocean's going to rise 1/8 of an inch over the next 400 years. And you'll have more oceanfront property, right? The biggest threat is not that. The biggest threat is nuclear warming.
That's that real estate
Because we
brain.
have
He's like,
five
listen,
countries
if it
now
goes
that
up,
have
I mean, we got
significant
more
nuclear power.
more oceanfront property,
and
more money.
we have to not allow anything to happen with stupid people like Biden. Biden
Stupid
did
people
something
like
with
Biden.
Russia. There was no chance of him ever going in. And when I left, and then after I left, they started forming big armies on the border with Ukraine, right? And I looked at that, and I thought he was doing that because Putin's a good negotiator. I thought he was doing that to negotiate. But then Biden started saying such stupid things. For instance, he said that it can be a NATO country. Now, Russia, for as long as there's been NATO, has said we're never going to agree to that. And we go right up front and say that. And we did things and said things through this president with a low IQ, very low IQ.
Very low IQ.
He had a low
The
IQ
lowest
30 years
IQ.
ago, by the way, but
I've
now
got
he
a
might
big
not
IQ.
even
A lot
have
of people
any
don't have
IQ
it.
at all.
I do.
There's nothing on the board that goes this low. He said things that were so stupid that
How stupid
war
were
would have been-
they?
that war had zero chance of
They were
happening
so
if I were there.
stupid.
Zero chance. He was saying everything the opposite. Everything the opposite. And it's so sad because many more people have been killed in Ukraine than you read about. You don't read about how bloody it is and how disaster.
Sure.
Hey, look, just in the two armies, you lost 500,000 people. And Ukraine's having a hard time. Ukraine, I don't know if you saw the article recently, and it's true. You don't hear the true story. But if you think about it, Russia's gone, Russia defeated Germany with us, and they defeated Napoleon.
With us,
They've been around a
he
long
kind of
time.
just
They're
took
a big
credit for
fighting
World War
force.
II a little bit.
And it's very unfair.
He
And
just took a
Ukraine
little bit of
now
credit for the Western
doesn't
Front.
have enough men. They're now using young men and very old men to fight. And we're in a very bad position. And I'm not going to blame exclusively, but I can tell you I could have stopped that. And a smart president could have stopped that. It wouldn't have happened. But we had a man that actually made it more prevalent. It was so bad. The words that he was using, the stupid threats coming
Yeah,
from a
I agree
stupid
with
face that he was using. I said, this guy's going to cause us a war.
He just
He's
say
gonna
his
cause
face
us,
is
and let me tell
stupid?
you, it
Yeah,
can
yeah.
You got a
lead to World
stupid
War
face?
III. That can lead to World War III. The Middle East can lead to. We have numerous places that could end up in a World War III
One of the
right
best
now
things,
for
one of the best
no
points
reason
is like
whatsoever.
all they ever
I think
said
you're
under
right.
Trump was
I
World
think-
War
I think
III,
people
World War III. Biden's
underrate
in there
the
for
risk of World
fucking
War
2
III.
years, and we're
And
like, oh, actually, World War III might happen.
When you're looking at the risk of global thermonuclear warfare, it's game over for humanity. And, it's something that people have, I think, after the
I'm just
end
gonna
of the
go to
Cold War,
Vegas,
people
man.
have become
I'm gonna go in
complacent
Mr.
about, but
House's
they
bunker,
actually have
ride
forgotten
it
that
out with
there
him,
are
join
currently
one
a
of the
lot of
clans.
nuclear
It'll be
missiles
fine.
that have targeting parameters for the United States from other
100%.
countries.
And one of the things
And,
we're going to do is
it's-
we're going to build an Iron Dome over us. Israel has it.
Oh, God.
We're going to have the best Iron Dome in
I
the world. We
literally
need it, and
thought
we're
for
gonna
a
make it
second
all
he
in the
meant there'd
United
be an
States, but
Iron
we're gonna
Dome
have
over the
protection.
nation. And I was
Because
like,
it just takes one
actually, I don't
maniac
think
to,
that's a great
start
idea.
something. We're going to have protection. And
Maybe
we're going
not.
to have. Why shouldn't we have an Iron Dome? Israel has one.
Tell
Some
him.
other places
Yeah.
have one that nobody even knows about, frankly.
Ooh,
But
some
Israel has it.
intel.
We're going to have an Iron Dome. But, with
Nobody
all
knows
of that
that,
being
frankly.
said, to me, that's so important, the most important. But with all of that being said, the election's coming up, and the people want to hear about the economy and the fact that
Absolutely,
they can't
sure.
buy groceries because they don't have enough
Preach.
money to buy groceries.
Preach.
The inflation has killed them. Food
insane.
prices are up 50, 60, even 100% in some cases. And this,
I don't know if
this
that's true, but
stupid
it's definitely higher.
administration allowed this to happen. And it's a shame. And that's the thing that people most care about, in my opinion. They care about the
You
border
can't give
a
away
lot.
hundreds of
And we
billions of
discussed the
dollars
border
without
at
it
great length.
affecting the
It's
economy.
nice to have
Yeah,
a
yeah.
forum like this where I can discuss something
Tell him, Donnie.
at length. And by the way, you think Biden could do this
Biden?
interview? Do you think that
Biden?
Kamala could do this interview? They would
Good
take
point.
a pass
No,
on you.
they could not.
So they don't need Elon. They don't need Elon screaming out questions. It's pretty sad when you
That's
think
funny.
that somebody that does this for a living
That's what's
going to
be called to
or
have
is
sex
afraid
with,
to do an interview.
blown from one
and
of
in
those
her
sex
case,
dolls.
with a very friendly interview.
I got
She's
some
got
Iron
all
Dome
friendly
last night,
interviewers.
dude.
It's
Oh,
pretty
it's
sad.
wild.
But the
absolutely.
big thing
Much
now
better
is
than
what
a
happened
human
to
girl.
Elon.
Yeah.
And as much as
Yeah.
I mean, I view nuclear as the single most important thing, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't understand that. But it doesn't have to. If I understand it, that's all you need. Because if I was president, you're not going to have that kind of a problem. But the thing that they
You'll have another
really
problem.
is making them
I'll
angry
be
is
any
what
problems. There'll be no more
Kamala
problems.
and
We
Biden
will
have allowed
reach
to happen
utopia.
to the economy. It's a disaster with inflation. The inflation.
Not wrong.
It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what you make. The inflation has eaten you alive. If you're a
Tell
worker
'em.
or if you're
Fucking sucks.
just a middle income person, you can't afford. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, people were saving a lot of money. Today, they're using all their money and borrowing money just to live. It's a horrible thing
Right.
that's happening, and we'll end that
Well, I
quickly.
think a lot of a lot of people just
go.
don't understand where inflation comes from. Inflation
hear
comes
this.
from government overspending because the checks never bounce when it's written by the government. So if the government spends far more than it brings in, that increases the money supply, and if the money supply increases faster than the rate of goods and services, that's inflation. So really, we need to have we need to reduce our government spending. And we need to
Preach
re-examine.
it.
I think we need like a government
Jake D's
efficiency
got a
commission
hard on here in
to
that.
say like, hey, where are we spending money that's sensible? Where is it not sensible? And we need to live within our means. We're currently adding, I think,
I
$1
still haven't
trillion
watched
to the
Battlestar
deficit.
Galactica. I got to get into
every-
that. My
roughly
buddy's
every
got me
100
watching
days.
The Good Place right
and
now.
the interest
say,
payments on the national
think I'm a
debt
fan.
have now exceed the defense budget. It's on the order of $1
I
trillion.
know.
It's interest.
And it keeps
I
growing.
Is that
rebuilt
not
our
the
military,
craziest
largely
fact?
rebuilt our
The
military. did a
interest
great
on our
job
national
it,
debt
which
is
was
more
so
than we
important. We had
spend on
jets, We had
defense.
fighters that were and bombers that were
What?
70 years old.
How is
we,
that
we did a
even
great job in
mildly
that.
tenable?
Then by the way, we gave
Dude,
85
all we should be
billion of
working
it
towards as a
back to
country is
Afghanistan,
eliminating
if you
that,
can believe
if
it. We
nothing
gave them
else.
85 billion.
They keep spending.
They're one of the largest sellers
Yeah.
of military equipment in the world. They're selling what we gave them. That was one of the most embarrassing days in the history of our country. But if you think about, let's go back to the economy. We have to bring energy prices down. Energy started at the price of gasoline. Now your cars don't require too much gasoline, so you have a good, and you do make
Tesla.
a great product. I have to say, I have to be honest with
to
you.
be
That
honest.
doesn't mean
Gotta be
everybody should have an electric car, but these are minor details. But your product is incredible. But the gasoline, Elon, is the cost of energy, not only gasoline, it's the cost of heating your house and cooling your house. That has to come down. It's gone up 100%, 150,
Heard.
and 200%.
Thank you, Sentient Dildo.
And that has to come down. When that comes down, and we're going to drill, baby, drill. They stopped drilling, and then they went back to drilling because they went back to the Trump policy. But if they won the day after they get into office, this country will go out of business because they're going to go to an energy policy that's not sustainable. Wind and different things. You're not going to have anything.
Yeah.
And I know you're a big fan of the AI, and I have to say that AI, and this is shocking to me, but AI requires twice the energy that the country already produces for everything. So we're going to have to build a lot of energy if our country will be competitive with China, because that's our primary competitor for this on the AI. You're going to need a lot of electricity. You're going to need tremendous electricity, like almost double what we produce now for the whole country, if you can believe it.
Wow.
Sure.
You think that's accurate? Does anyone think that is an accurate statistic?
This basic.
I have no idea. I understand AI is like. I heard something like a chat GPT
would you agree that
search
we need to take a look at
costs
government
like
spending and
400 times more than a Google search or something like that? I've heard that statistic. I don't know if it's accurate, but I've heard something to that effect. Like it's like magnitude so expensive, so maybe it does require a lot of energy.
Is incredible.
I don't know if it's double, but
nobody negotiates
it's not
prices.
normally wrong. So
you used to have a lot of people making jets, and you end up with two companies, and they'll probably try and merge at some point. I mean, I went through it, like Air Force, just a thing like Air Force One. One of the first documents they asked me to sign in General Works, and sir,
dude, I think he's a smart guy. I think he knows what the fuck he's talking about. He has just been running,
which is basically
like
two planes, two 747s, and the price was $5.7 billion for two planes. Now they're highly sophisticated. They're even nicer than your plane, okay? But much more sophisticated. They're very. I won't say what's on it, but they got a lot of stuff on it. Anyway, but it's 5.7.
That's a crazy
it's
number.
a crazy number, but I said, I'm not going to pay 5.7. I'm not going to do it. I said, who made the deal? Obama and his people. I said, well, then I know the deal's no good. I'm not going to do it. And
the art of the deal, baby. Let's go.
Weeks, by my saying I'm not going to do it, I got the price reduced by $1.6 billion for the exact same plane, other than we had a nicer paint job, if you want to know the truth. But for the exact same plane, I saved one.
Same plane, but
Boeing,
nicer than you saw.
You must make a lot of money if you can reduce the price by that. But now what I do hear is that they're going back to the Biden administration and wanting big cost overruns, because they see these dopey suckers in there.
All right, I'll
and
check
they'll
it
end
out.
up getting
Zach,
some of the money back. But I shaved it by $1.6 billion for the exact same plane. And you can now take that and multiply that out times thousands of other items.
Multiply it by
the numbers are astronomical.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Well, I mean, I think it would be great to just have a government efficiency commission that takes a look at these things.
Believe in you.
And just ensures that the
don't be like me when I had Gary on for the first time.
Taxpayers' hard-earned money is spent.
Don't be a stumbling, mumbling dork.
And I'd be happy to help out on such a commission.
I'd love it
if it were formed.
Well, you're the greatest cutter. I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, you want to quit? They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike, and you say, that's okay. You're all gone. You're all gone. So every one of you is gone, and you are the greatest. You would be very good. Oh, you would love it. But, if you look at Argentina.
Well, I'd be happy to help
by the way,
out.
congratulations. I just looked at the number of people that are listening to you and I chat. We'll call it a chat. But congratulations. This is very good. I mean, it's great. And you're an interesting character. The new head of a place called Argentina, and he's a big, he's great.
Maybe you've heard of it.
And he's a big MAGA fan. You know that he ran on MAGA, and he took it to an extreme too. He ran on MAGA, and I hear he's doing really a terrific job. It's called Make Argentina Great Again. It worked out perfectly. He came in, he bought a lot of hats, he brought everything, but he's doing a big job. He really cut. And I'm hearing they're starting to do pretty well. Inflation's getting down. They had like 2,000%. They had inflation like not normal inflation. They had the real deal. But We're going to
Yeah.
have that pretty soon. I think we
Yeah.
have the worst inflation we've had in 100 years. They say it's 48 years. I don't believe it. I think we have the worst. They
Yeah.
don't include a lot of the items that should be included,
Yeah. Well, it's just from
Probably not
from
wrong.
government overspending and not spending taxpayer money
Yeah.
effectively, and having just like so many departments you can't even name them all. And what Milei is doing is he's cutting government spending. He's simplifying things.
He's eliminating
having
the
putting in
government,
regulations that make sense.
the bureaucracy,
and
non-existent.
Argentina
as I understand it.
overnight is experiencing a giant improvement
That's right.
in prosperity. But
Jake
it's
D's
also
got.
a
I don't know if
lesson
he's still
for
here,
the
but
United
you gotta
States,
love
which
that
is
guy.
that,
He's like the
Argentina used to be
libertarian
one of the
leader.
most prosperous countries in the world. In
Afuera!
the 30s, 40s, and because of bad government policy, it ruined the country. And if you take Venezuela, for example, Venezuela should be incredibly prosperous.
He is
have,
still here.
Phenomenal
I know.
reserves
I know.
of
Makes me think
everything,
about our
everything.
talks, Jake.
And
Makes me think
should
about-
be prosperous, but if the government's wrong, it
These
impoverishes
libertarians
the
are onto
people.
something.
And
They
so
got something
I think
up
we
their
should
sleeve, eh?
not be complacent
Best
in the
leader in the
United
world.
States and thinking that and taking our
Yeah, man.
prosperity for granted.
Seems like
because
it.
if with bad
Seems
government
like
policy,
it's so funny. People are
we can run the
accusing him of
country
like
to the ground.
cronyism.
And that's
They're like,
that's just
he
something
just wants to
people
get
should
his
bear in
buddies
mind. Don't
paid.
take
It's like,
prosperity
what
for
the
granted.
fuck are
Well,
you?
think of education.
Are you that dense?
So we're ranked
It's
at the bottom of every
literally
list.
every
of the
other
top
leader.
40. We're ranked
Except for
number
a guy
40,
like
number
that.
38.
He's the crony. He's the crony.
Norway,
Okay.
Switzerland,
All right. That's just
Sweden,
adorable.
different countries are ranked good. Actually, China's pretty close to the top. They're a
All
top
right, fair
6
enough.
or 7.
Can't
but
argue
we're
with
ranked
that.
at the bottom,
Not a bad
almost
point.
at the bottom. 38,
Not a bad point.
39, 40. In other words, horrible. And
In
yet
other
we
words,
spend
horrible.
more per pupil than any other country in the world. So we spend more. And what I'm going to do, one of the first acts, and this is where I need an Elon Musk. I need somebody that has a lot of strength and courage and smarts. I want to close up Department of Education, move
Let's
education
go.
back to the states,
Let's go.
where
Yeah.
where states like Iowa, where states like Idaho, not every state will do great because states that basically aren't doing good now. You look at Gavin Newsom, the governor of California.
Newscum.
He's terrible. He does a terrible job. So he's not going to do great with education. But of the 50, I would bet that 35 would do great, and
Great.
15
Yeah.
of them, or
Mega.
20
Make
of them
education
will be
great
as good as
again.
Norway. Norway's considered
Huh?
great.
Let's go.
You can name them. I mean, they're so good. Some
Yeah.
of these countries are so good. But if you go into some of these really well-run states, we have states that don't know what debt is. We have states that have low taxes, no debt,
taxes.
everybody working. They're really well-run.
Sure.
And maybe they have certain advantages in terms of location, in terms of, the land or the sun and the water and the whole thing. There are a lot of advantages that some people have. But if you move
sun? Are they closer to
education
the
back
sun?
to the 50,
What are you
you'll
saying?
have some that won't do well, but they'll actually be forced to do better because it'll be a pretty bad situation. But
Yeah,
if you think about it,
yeah,
you'll have
education
some
is
of these states.
completely
I'll bet you'd have
declined
30, 35
in the past
states.
50 years.
It'll be much better. And you know
inarguably.
what it'll cost? Less than half what it is
Yeah.
in
Dude,
Washington.
my mom's a teacher.
And
Yeah.
these
She
people
fucking
don't
hates
care
the
about
DA.
Yeah.
the students in these
Department of
faraway
NEA,
states.
NEA,
And
not
it
the
would
DA.
be it'd be
She
unbelievable.
hates the
Yeah.
DEA. She's like, let me do my
I think you're
drugs,
making a
man.
good point in that.
Leave me alone.
If-
No, but the NEA is
the
brutal.
states have to
Standardized
if each
testing, no one
individual-
likes
if
that.
Each state has to compete
They
against
they
other
dumb
states,
down everything.
then
It's
pe-
all
then
just
people
this
will naturally,
bureaucracy state.
move
All this
to
middle
states where
management,
it's
just
better.
Well, like
paperwork
California,
and
as we said,
checking
it's
boxes
a
and doing what you're
badly
supposed to
run
do
state.
because the
I
government
could
said
go
everything's
through- I got
become
so many friends
bureaucratic
that
and
are
therefore
in
like
those states,
zero
even if they're
inspiration.
Democrats. I hate
Like my
to
mom's a
mention certain
very good
states, but
teacher,
Illinois
but
is
unfortunately
badly
she
run
has
with
to like
Pritzker. He's a
things that
real loser.
the
But-
board
but,
says or the
some of these
federal
places
government
are
says.
just badly
It's
run. But,
anti-education.
it's almost
100%.
going to force them to run better, and they won't do it good initially. But you're not going to
the
do
best
worse
season.
than you're doing
The
right now.
best season.
And I would say that
Yeah,
the cost
so
you
good.
would cut your
God,
cost
man,
by
maybe it's time for a
50 or
rewatch on that.
60%. And you'd have a little
Yeah, yeah.
monitor. You want to make sure they're teaching English as an example. Give us
Yeah.
a little English, right?
Sure,
Right?
yeah. No, but I mean,
Not a bad
I
point.
mean, some
Not
of
a
these
bad
governors are doing so badly. I mean, they got so many
How
people
badly
moving
are
out of
they
their state,
doing?
They should get U-Haul Salesman of the Year award because they're driving so much U-Haul.
It's
sales.
actually
It's just
amazing.
people moving out.
Isn't
you
it
know?
amazing to you as a businessman that they can even survive. Like Illinois, so many people are leaving, and you wonder, how do they survive? I mean, how do they survive? I saw where you left California and you moved to Texas. Texas does a great job.
Great
But,
job.
you know, I mean, I just wonder, how do these states survive when big businesses, a big oil company just left California, as you know, and they moved to Texas. How do these big states survive when they lose so many businesses and their taxes are already really high? You know, the taxes are among the highest taxes. You almost wonder, how do
Never
they
seen such high
how do
taxes.
they
A lot of
continue
people
on?
say,
And
wow,
in many
these taxes
cases,
are
the
so
governors
high.
don't do a good job, and they're crime-ridden places. You wonder, how do they continue to just go on? It's not a good situation.
I mean, I think the only thing that's going to force some of these states to change is if they risk bankruptcy and they're not getting bailed out by the federal government.
Right.
Word,
Well,
Jake. Preach
That's
it,
the
brother.
only thing that's going to get them to change.
Preach
You
it.
remember the area in California where they had
Fucking
that,
A,
where
man.
I guess somebody had
That
sticky
is
fingers.
the truth.
A lot of
If
money.
there's no incentive to
And,
improve or get
they went
sharper or
into
smarter,
a
it is what
form
it is.
of
course,
chapter.
it's obviously.
And it was very nasty for a period of
You have
time, but now
no
it's probably
bottom
the
line.
most popular place
There's
in all
no
of California.
such thing as a lack of resources.
So, you know, at some point, something like that may have to happen. But the problem is you can't penalize people that loan
100%.
money to the state when you have incompetent people like a Pritzker. Look, the family didn't want him in the family business. And then he ends up being governor of Illinois. So, you know, what is he going to be? Is he going to be a great governor? And, you know, you have people. I could name every one of them.
People.
I got to know every one of these. And some are very good and some are just horrible.
Well, I think that
Wonder
I mean
how
the
long
larger
this is
point
gonna
here,
go.
too, you know, as you're saying, like a lot of
About
people
an
are concerned
hour?
about the economy. A lot of people are concerned
Hour
about
and a half, something
inflation,
like that?
and inflation is
15?
effectively a tax on people that save money and for people that are working day to day. It's just a form of taxation. And if we can solve the government spending problem, we'll solve the inflation problem, which means people will have a better standard of living, and that's a really big deal.
Well, the people that got hurt worst are the people that did it the way they were taught to do it all through, you know, their younger life and their young life and their whole life. The people that saved money and then they got no interest on their money and inflation destroyed them.
Right on.
And frankly, they were almost better off if they didn't do anything like that. I mean, those people have been absolutely decimated, and we're going to bring those people back and help those people. We've got to get the prices down. You know, when I look at bacon costing 4 or 5 times more than it did a few years ago, when you look at some of the food products in grocery stores, people go, they can't believe it. They used to be able to buy a whole cart.
This is a big moment, this conversation.
You know, a lot of people just don't have
Happy
the
to be
money. They
witnessing
go
it
in
with all
and
of
they
you
can't buy
wonderful people.
anything. They look at
it's
sticker shock.
think
They call it sticker shock, right?
I think it really just comes, like I said, I think it just comes down to really, I guess, two things, which is that if you solve government overspending, you solve inflation, which improves living standards of the average person, and then if you deregulate, like have sensible regulations, so because a lot of the regulations are nonsensical and cause the cost to be extreme for no reason, but unless you've got effective deregulation, like Reagan did a great job on deregulation in the 80s, but it's been 40 years since we had anyone really. I mean, during your administration, we made some progress, but I think there's an opportunity to make, I think, radical progress with sensible regulation. And if
Elon,
those two things, those are the big deals.
We set a record. We did more deregulation and more restrictions on all of the different businesses than any other president. Remember, I had the rule for everyone we put in, you have to get rid of 10 or 12. And we did radical cuts on all of that. And a lot of that's being put back by this administration.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And we did radical cuts on things that weren't necessary. But we were all set. You know, we had the best economy.
Oh, that's going to be another quote.
Ever maybe in the world.
We did radical
and then what
cuts
happened
on
is
things
COVID
that were
came in,
unnecessary. That's going
and
to be
we
a
had to
quote.
focus
That'll be a
on
headline
that,
tomorrow.
and nobody knew what it was. And I always say I got good marks on economy, good marks on military. We knocked out ISIS. We did so many different things. We rebuilt.
Did do that.
But, you know, I never got the credit that we really deserved on what we did with COVID. We never got the credit. But
COVID.
we were, if had that not happened, a gift from China, from Wuhan, came in from Wuhan, the Wuhan labs, and I always said it, and it turned out to be right. But had that not happened, we were set to start reducing debt We were going to reduce taxes further. I gave the largest tax cuts, and we were going to reduce taxes still further
Tax cuts.
for middle-income people, not only businesses. But we did it for businesses because they're the ones that's why we had the great job numbers. But we were set to really start reducing debt. And, we're sitting on the biggest pile of liquid gold anywhere in the world, bigger than Saudi Arabia, bigger than Russia. And we were going to drill, and we were going to make so much money. We were going to supply Europe with oil. I had stopped the Russian pipeline, and we were going to supply them with oil and gas. We were going to make a fortune. And then the COVID came in, and we really had to
suspicious
divert. Then what
timing.
happened is when they came in, we kept a lot of businesses alive. If I didn't do what we did, we would have had a 1929 type depression. But the problem is when Biden came in, he got trillions of dollars and just started spending it stupidly. You didn't need it anymore. We got over that bad period where everybody was dying and feeling, it was just not a good period. Interestingly, during
Trump
his
on COVID,
administration,
not a good time.
Many more people died during his administration of COVID than during my administration, and we really got the brunt
What
of
a
it.
hilarious statistic
But people
to
don't
quote.
realize more people
That's great.
died during his administration than ours. But it diverted us from doing what I wanted to do. But we had the greatest for almost
What about
3
the
years.
Croatians?
We had the
Yeah.
greatest.
No one
and you know
thinks
that
about the
probably
Croatians.
better than anybody.
We
So
need to
many
care
of
about
your
the Croatians.
friends
Some of the
said to
greatest
me,
people in the world,
best years
Croatians,
we've ever had in business
are automated
were
sex
during the
products
Trump years.
not being cared
and
for.
also said that
That's a problem. A lot of people don't talk about our automated sex products. I care about our automated sex products.
Incredible. They were having the best Asian American women.
Run by
men,
AI.
Young
AI very
people
expensive.
without
We
a
need to keep
diploma,
them
young
going. No one
people
talks about
graduated
that.
from the best colleges, from MIT, from the Wharton School, from all of the great colleges, Harvard. They were doing better, and people without a diploma were doing better, and everybody was happy. And then COVID came, and we had
Everybody
the
was
problem
happy.
is they spent
I don't know,
trillions and
Trump.
trillions
I
of
actually have
dollars.
to
They
disagree with you
wasted.
there, sir.
They shouldn't have
I saw a
taken
lot
any
of
money,
unhappy
and we
people. Now,
wouldn't
granted,
be
they
having
were
inflation
wrong,
right now,
but not
which is
everybody was
killing our
happy. I'm
country.
just saying.
Yeah,
A lot of
I should
people
probably say
living
something
in
about,
pure
like,
misery
maybe
because you
my views
existed.
on,
I'm still on your
climate
side,
change
but
and
I'll say
oil and
everybody was
gas,
happy.
because I think I'm probably different from what most people would assume. Because my views are actually pretty, I think,
I don't
moderate
know, man.
in this
If
regard.
the rest of
which
the
is
Croatians
that
are like
I don't
you
think
you
we
guys
should
sound pretty
vilify
based.
the oil and gas industry.
You guys sound like you
and the people that
share
have
some
worked
of our
very hard
values.
in those industries
You like
to
guns. I
provide
know that
the
about you.
necessary energy to support the economy. And if we were to stop using oil and gas right now,
I don't know
we would
that.
all be
I
starving.
don't know much
and the
about
economy would
Eastern
collapse.
Europe.
So
Pretty much all I
it's-
know is
I don't think it's right to
Ascension
sort of
dildo and
vilify the oil and gas
who was
industry.
that General Elvis? Remember Elvis used to hang out from
the
Croatia?
world has
Talking
a
about
certain
the
demand
Expanse.
for oil and gas, and
That's
it's
about all
probably
I know.
better if the
And my
United
buddy
States
Zoe
provides that
from,
than some other
from LA.
countries. And
all I know.
it would help with
That's all I
prosperity
know. I
in
know it
the U.S.
exists.
And
No, it's
at
pretty
the same
cool,
time, obviously,
based on
my
what
view
Ascension
is,
Dildo
is
says.
like we do over
Oh,
time
my
want to
government.
move to
My government.
a sustainable
You don't
energy
need- yeah,
economy
no,
because
fair enough.
eventually you do run
Fair
out
enough.
of. I mean,
guys sound
you run
base
out
as
of
hell.
oil
I
and
should probably
gas.
learn more
It's
about
not there.
Croatia.
It's not infinite.
Bunch of gypsies, he
And
says.
there is
Papa's
some
words,
risk.
not
I think
mine.
it's
I
not
didn't say that.
the risk is not
didn't say that,
as
and I wouldn't.
high as
wouldn't.
a lot of people say it is with respect to
AI-driven
global warming. But I
sex
think
products,
if you
maybe.
just keep increasing the
I
parts per
don't know
million
about the
in the
gypsies.
atmosphere long enough,
I don't know.
eventually it actually simply gets uncomfortable to breathe. People don't realize this. If you go past 1,000 parts per million of CO2, you start getting headaches and nausea. And so we're now in the sort of 400 range. We're adding, I think, about roughly 2 parts per million per year. So I mean, it still gives us. So what it means is like we still have quite a bit of time, but so there's not like we don't need to rush and we don't need to stop farmers from farming or prevent people from having steaks or basic stuff like that. Like you can leave the farmers alone.
I agree. How crazy is that? Where you have farmers that are not allowed to farm anymore and have to get rid of their cattle, and the whole world is a little crazy. But it's largely taken its lead from us. I just say though, I've heard in terms of the fossil
Is Romania
fuel,
the Eastern Bloc?
because even to create your electric car and create
feel like
the
Romania's the
electricity
Eastern
needed
Bloc.
for the electric car, fossil fuel is what really creates that at the generating plants. And So you sort of can't get away from it at this moment.
they are.
I mean,
I don't know.
someday you might be able to.
I guess
But I
so.
do hear we have
They're in that
anywhere from
area.
100 to 500 years left.
They border
much of it
the
hasn't even
heroes
been
in
found
Ukraine.
yet.
Yeah.
But there are
Ukraine's
tremendous,
pretty big.
like Anwar. I got Anwar in Alaska
I didn't realize how
approved.
big Ukraine is.
Ronald Reagan couldn't do it. Nobody could do it.
pretty big
Everybody
country.
tried. Nobody could do it. I got it approved. The first thing that Biden did was unimprove it to get rid of it. He ended it.
Nowhere
His,
near Croatia, though. That
His
whole
secretary went
Serbia,
in and she
right in the
ended it.
middle.
And what a disgrace. That's Anwar. That's bigger, or
It
they
is, man.
think
Okay.
it could
Hey.
be bigger than Saudi Arabia
I guess
in
they're
Alaska.
further east than y'all.
Could be bigger than Saudi Arabia. But
I don't know.
they went in and they
I'm
terminated
going to have to
it, and I'll
agree
get
with
it
your
going very
initial
quickly because
criticism of
not only
American
is it
education.
big for Alaska. I mean, you
I'm
talk
always
about
blown away
economic
every time I
development.
look at a map of Europe.
That
I'm like,
for the
that's where that
United
is?
States. I mean, that
Ah.
is. They say
What do you
bigger
know?
than
I
Saudi
had no
Arabia
idea.
or the same size, and pure.
I'm like, Estonia is
really
a country?
good
That
stuff.
is neat.
And they
What a
ended.
neat fact
So I
I
think
just
we have,
learned.
I
had no
perhaps
idea.
hundreds of years left. Nobody really
I knew
knows.
about Estonia,
but
but
during that,
yeah.
during
Only
that
'cause
time,
I knew a hot
something will come
Estonian in
around
college.
that will be
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
she
mean,
was telling me about her
my
nation.
estimate
I
would
had
be, a little
no
more
idea that was a country.
aggressive than
Granted,
that,
I was
but
like 20.
It's not the sort of
but
like
I
we're
was
all going
like,
to die in 5 years.
Well,
stuff.
yeah, okay,
That's
that's new.
obviously BS.
That's a new one.
But I mean, my view is like if you just look at sort of the parts per million that increments every year, you get sort of 2 or 3 parts per million every year of CO2. I mean, I think some of that it's problematic if it accelerates. If you start going from 2 or 3 to say 5,
It's problematic.
and then there may be some situations where you get just a step change increase in the CO2. And I think we don't want to get too close to 1,000 ppm because like that's actually makes it uncomfortable to breathe. Like just existing in 1,000 ppm CO2 is uncomfortable. That's like that's considered like an industrial hazard.
Right.
Just so it's that's actually you start getting headaches and stuff. So it's,
What's your point? We heard
even
you
without
say that
global
before.
warming, it's not comfortable to live. So we don't want to get too close to that. But I mean, I think we've got. I think we want to just move over and like, and if I don't know, 50 to 100 years from now, we're I don't know,
Elon, make a
mostly,
point.
Sustainable. I think that'll probably be okay. So it's not like the house is on fire immediately, but I think it is something we need to move towards.
Interesting.
And on balance,
A little bit of
it's probably
history I
better
didn't
to
have.
move there faster than slower, but like I said, without vilifying the oil and gas industry.
Oh, really?
and
1949.
without causing hardship
Huh.
in the short term. I think this can be
I have
done.
a lot to learn. So much about the world I don't know.
without, but people can still have,
Even
a
in my
stake,
friends'
and they can
countries.
still drive gasoline cars, and this, it's okay. It's like it's not. I don't think we should vilify people for it, but I think we should just generally lean in the direction of sustainability. I actually think
I was
solar
aware
is
of the
gonna be
irony,
a majority
Papa.
of Earth's
I didn't
energy
think of myself
generation,
as special.
in the future,
Just
and
thought
it's
it
certainly
looked funny.
trending that way.
All right, fair enough.
And so you get the solar power, combine that with batteries. So because obviously the sun
We're all
doesn't shine
pretty
at night,
dumb, I'd say.
and then you
on
use that
aggregate.
to charge the electric cars,
Just gotta
and you
kinda
have a
go with
long-term
what
sustainable
works,
solution. And that's what Tesla's trying to move things towards,
try
and
to
I
keep
think we've
moving
made
forward.
a lot of
That
progress
works. That
in
doesn't.
that
Keep
regard.
what does.
But
get
when you
rid of
look at
what
our cars,
doesn't.
we don't believe that environmentalism, that caring about the environment should mean that you have to suffer. So we make sure that our cars are beautiful, that they drive well, that they're fast, they're sexy. I mean, they're cool. In fact, literally,
They are pretty cool.
I mean, the sexy
I don't
joke, Model
disagree.
S, Model 3, Model X, and Y spells out sexy. It was probably the most expensive joke out there.
Elon
But
is
I
such
just
a
I don't know,
dork,
like
dude.
cheesy humor,
He
so,
is such a nerd.
but
Oh my
I'm not.
God. He's like,
I'm big fan of, like, let's
sexy.
have an
Get
inspiring
it?
future,
Is it all?
and let's work towards
He's
a
such a
better
nerd,
future,
man.
and
You gotta love
we
him.
do so without demonizing
Right.
people.
I'm okay.
You know.
It's very interesting. You use the
How
word
long is
global
this gonna
warming,
go
and
for?
today they use
I'm
the
really
word climate
curious.
change because you have some places that go up, and so they were getting themselves in a little trouble with the word global warming because not every place is warming. Some places are going the opposite direction. But I'm sort of waiting for you to come up with solar panels on the roofs of your cars and on the trunks of the cars, and it just
In the
seems like
trunk.
something that at some point you will come up with. I'm sure you'll be the first. But it would seem that a solar panel on the roofs, on flat surfaces. On certain surfaces, it might be good.
Yeah.
At least in certain areas of the country where you have the world
Sure.
where you have the sun. But I would think, and I have no idea because that's not my world, but I would think that this would be something that would be interesting. But the one thing that I don't understand is that people talk about global warming or they talk about climate change, but they never talk about nuclear warming. And to me,
Sure.
that's an immediate problem because you have, as I said, 5 countries where you have major nuclear, and probably some others are getting there, and that's very dangerous. That's where you need a strong American president because you don't want to have this proliferation. But you have 5 countries and getting more. China is much less than us right now, but they're going to catch us sooner than people think. They're way lower. Russia and us are number 1, and I mean, we're sort of tied. And China is far behind, but they're developing at a level that, you're not surprised to hear very fast. They'll end up catching up, maybe even surpassing. But to me, the biggest problem is not climate change. It's not, and everything's, a problem, but it's degrees. To me, the big problem is the nuclear power. The power of nuclear is so great. And when I talk about I'll prevent World War III, I will. But the truth is that you have to, because this is no longer army tanks going back and forth and shooting at each other.
Rules.
This is a level of destruction and power that nobody's ever seen before.
Yeah, and actually, there's the bad side of nuclear, which is a nuclear war, very bad side. But there's also, I think, nuclear electricity generation is underrated.
You're right.
And it's actually, people have this fear of nuclear electricity generation, but it's actually one of the safest forms of electricity generation. It's just a huge misunderstanding. And if you look at the injuries and deaths, caused by, say, I mean, I'm not going to try to pick on coal mining, but just any kind of mining operation. And there's a certain number of injuries and deaths per year. And you compare that to nuclear. Nuclear is actually way better.
Okay. I feel like this is going to go on forever. And I am going to tap out. I'm going to tap out just because I'm tired. And this is going to keep going. And, if you guys want to continue watching the rest of the stream, by all means, check it out. It's not going anywhere, obviously. I'm sure it's going to be talked about quite a bit in the coming days. And then, who knows what will happen. Something gigantic that will distract from that marvelous conversation we had. But I'm tapping. If you guys want to leave and go somewhere else, that's cool. I did want to show you one thing before I go, because I thought it was pretty goddamn interesting. Oh, actually, I have a few things. One is this. There's a show that I think you guys know that I'm a big fan of. The Boys Cast. Boys Cast with Ryan Long and Danny Polishuk. Well, they have this little segment, kind of not even a segment, little joke they have, Cap of the Week, right, where someone's lying. That's the biggest cap of the week. Well, I think I'm going to start Cope of the Week. Because I saw this on Reddit, and I was like, that has got to be the most ridiculous cope I've ever heard in my entire life. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? Is that what you think's going on? They're wildly attracted to Kamala Harris? I'm pretty sure that's not what's going on with me, man. I'm pretty sure I'm okay. I saw this meme and I was like, what the fuck? In case you're listening on audio, not sure if MAGA members hate Kamala or are wildly attracted to her. Now, I'm pretty sure it's the first one. Pretty sure it's the first one. I saw this on Reddit and I was like, wow. I laughed out loud. I was like, that is the biggest stretch I've ever seen in my life. Like, yeah, that's what it is. They're so attracted to her that it compels them to be hateful. Yes. I imagine that is exactly what is happening. Dear Lord. All right, I got one last little clip to share with you guys. This is from Kill Tony at Madison Square Garden. Dude, I really would have loved to talk more about this stuff this whole time, to be completely honest. That was interesting. That was fun. I liked hanging out with you guys. but this clip is great. I want to show you guys. This is from Kill Tony Live at Madison Square Garden just this past weekend, and I really thought it was great. Okay.
It's crazy what's going on in Austin with Joe Rogan.
Tony, I'd love for you to stop talking about fucking Austin for 1 second. I think it's obvious New York is probably the best, and I will say this.
This is a good clip.
The reason I'm saying this is we don't have absolute cowards like Little Joe Rogan telling us what to do.
Little Joe Rogan.
Little Joe, he came in.
Little Joe.
He wants to endorse RFK Jr. Can you believe this? Joe Rogan is an absolute joke and a complete pussy, and if I ever saw him, I would whoop his bitch ass. What a coward. Joe Rogan, complete coward, and it's, frankly, he's an embarrassment to this country. He used to be such a powerful guy.
Dude, that's wild. That is wild. Wow, what a show. That's crazy.
What a guy. What a great guy. What an amazing American this man is. Joe Rogan, what a true patriot.
Dude, that's because Shane's the best. Shane's the fucking funniest guy alive.
What a guy.
What a guy.
What a guy. Everybody agrees this is one of the best guys. We talk about, we say Austin. Austin, Texas is great. Joe Rogan is great. Frankly, Joe Rogan is the best, and everyone knows it. And I love RFK. Who doesn't love RFK? He's a great guy.
It's crazy.
That's just the funny shit that I actually appreciate instead of all the dense political nonsense that I have to endure. But that's going to be the show, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode, watching along with me. Oh, Michael's here. Oh, hello. Hi, buddy. How's it going?
Wow, this is so exciting.
I'm sure Michael's going to talk down all the reasons why Trump made great points.
Yeah, and then?
Yeah. All right, get out of here. I'm saying goodbye.
All right.
Beat it.
Can I break this real quick?
Just get the fuck out of my house. This fucking guy. This is my roommate. This is who I live with. Leave. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. That was a lot of fun. I thought that was great. I plan on doing more streams, and hopefully more content will be coming out if I ever get over my own self-loathing. It's a tough process. It's tough, guys. It's hard to hate yourself as much as I do. You guys are great. He's not my freaking boyfriend, okay? So you don't know. I told you, just because we're two men of a certain age with 3 cats in Austin, Texas, does not make us gay. All right? That's hate speech, and actually, I don't support that. All right? Okay? That's not right. It's not nice. All right, you guys have been awesome. I'll see you guys in the next episode. This was super fun, and I'll be back. Thank you for hanging out with me. Y'all have a terrific evening. Peace out. Stay black. All that good shit. I'll see you guys later. Bye.